Has made $50 billion selling on Amazon. Join America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost, where anyone can learn how to start an Amazon business for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. Attend the Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Saturday, September 30th, 11 a.m. at the Aviator Hotel, Lindbergh Boulevard, St. Louis, Missouri. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
Gateway ENT is online at gatewaydrs.com. One of the oldest private practice ear, nose, and throat groups with multiple convenient locations for you right here in the metropolitan area for St. Louis, West County, Sunset Hills, Festus. Worth the drive, though, from wherever you are leaving from to get your ear, nose, and throat issues taken care of. When you go to Gateway ENT, you are going to a place that is very happy to care directly for you, a private practice facility that is there to prioritize your care over any system that they belong to, any big conglomerate that they would be encouraged to refer within. You're at the epicenter of the care at Gateway ENT, and they have so many clients over the course of years, generationally, who know that if you have one of those ear, nose, and throat concerns, gatewaydrs.com, Gateway ENT, that's where people go. Make sure that you check them out online, and you can find out how to make an appointment. You can call them at 314-843-3828. My husband, current patient there, and is working on getting some sinus things taken care of that have plagued him, honestly, as long as we've been married. We are hoping that Dr. Hardiman over there can make that issue go away. You can learn more about Gateway ENT online at gatewaydrs.com.
Angie makes it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get your home projects done well, from repair to remodel. Book instantly at an upfront price or request quotes from multiple pros. Get started on the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
As the president himself has said, and I reaffirm today, I am not the president's lawyer. I will add, I am not Congress's prosecutor. The Justice Department works for the American people. Our job is to follow the facts and the law, and that is what we do.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Annie. Welcome back to me, as opposed to the Annie Frey Show. Been out for a couple of days, working on getting better. We had a cold infest our house, and my son was out Tuesday, and I was pretty much down and out yesterday, really dealing with a crazy headache. And I don't know if Mayor Garland had anything to do with it, but when I listen to him, it kind of makes me remember my headache. And today, I'm back at work. My husband is off. He just took our 2-year-old to the doctor. Apparently she has croup. Could have been worse. Anyway, we are maintaining sea level here. Not underwater, not above water, just right there trying to get through. And I know a lot of y'all are going through the same thing. Brad's back too. Brad, you have had a cold as well.
Yeah, it was a cold. General cold.
General cold. Yeah. Did you get all nervous when you're like, I have a sniffle, maybe you have COVID?
No. I didn't worry about that at all.
Same. And I thought, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Very wonderful. So we're back at it and happy to be here with you and happy to have you joining us as we are streaming live in the Odyssey app on 97.1 FM Talk. You can follow us there. Great signal everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. You take the Odyssey app with you and you can follow 97.1 FM Talk and the Annie Frey Show there. The YouTube live chat poll for today, and you can watch us streaming there as well. You can watch the radio show. It's kind of a newfangled thing. Which issue will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November of 2024? Now, Brad, when I sent you this poll, I don't know how much time you had to think about it, but I didn't do a something else option. I gave 4 specific options today.
Yes. I hadn't had much time. As a matter of fact, I'm just looking at all the options right now.
So you copied and pasted.
Yes.
So if there's an error here, it is on me when I sent it to you. Which issue will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November 2024? So I'm thinking about right now, we have a solid Trump base. We have a solid Biden base. These are people who are going to vote for those particular folks pretty much come hell or high water. And honestly, I think a lot of those voters right now are ones that would, as much as they love the candidate they're voting for, it has as much to do with making sure that the other guy does not get another shot at the presidency. What is it, like 6 to 9%? Is going to decide this election in 5 states.
Yeah.
So there is going to be a predominant issue, in my opinion, that is going to decide this election. And honestly, when I came up with these 4 options of which issue might cause people to cross the aisle, and I didn't say which way to cross the aisle, so you might say, oh, it's definitely this option because I think it's going to make people vote Democrat more. You got to tell me what you think in the comments. But here are your 4 options that might cause voters to cross the aisle in November 2024. And I believe, my thesis is, one of these issues will be the deciding issue of the 2024 election. Open borders, inflation, weaponized justice system, or government overreach. So these are some pretty broad categories that might envelop multiple things. Like when I'm talking about government overreach, I'm talking about, 87,000 new IRS agents. I'm talking about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the 2 people in charge right now, air quotes. Those people out there saying, these are our kids, and I don't care what you say. We're gonna educate them in the classroom however we see fit. No, yeah, kids, if you want to have a secret with your instructor, you and that instructor, you keep that between yourselves, and the instructor is forbidden to talk to the parents about specific things that have to do with that child. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. Government overreach in Second Amendment issues, just the expansion of government and how much they are prepared to take over your life because they know better. And it's not about, this is the thing that needs to be said out loud a lot. It's not about the fact that they know better. And, there are people in the world who make perpetual bad decisions. Brad, have you ever met anyone who just keeps doing dumb things and you're like, why are you doing it this way?
Of course I know him. He's me.
Oh, well, the problem is me. We know these people. Brad, you are not one of the people I'm referring to.
I'm kidding.
It's people who just can't seem to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
These are the type of people who have somebody call them and they're like, I've got $10,000 for you. Like, those scammers exist because it works.
Mm-hmm.
That for as many times as they try it, it's going to work enough that they keep trying it. There are people who make bad decisions. That's just the way it is. The key is, in the United States of America, you get to make your decisions. And yeah, the consequence of doing that is sometimes they're going to be bad. I make bad decisions. Brad said he makes bad decisions. You listening make bad decisions from time to time. But the important thing in the United States is that they are your decisions to make. You get to choose your path, and your path is not promised for you. It's not laid out for you. It's not predetermined for you. Your path is uncharted. And in the United States of America, you get to go down the direction of road that you want to head. And when you hit a roadblock, you get to say, I'm blasting through it, or I'm going to make a right turn. I'm going to make a left turn, or I'm going to turn around and try to start over. You get to do all of that yourself. If you have government overreach the way we are careening into right now in this country, they sell you on the idea of a soft safety net every time you turn around. But that safety net always, it's like being at a carnival. It's going to cost you a ticket. And every ticket that you turn over is an element of your liberty, your freedom that you will not get back after you hand it over. Weaponized Justice System is another one, and we're going to speak with Hans von Spakovsky here in about 10 minutes. I'm going to talk to him about a couple issues. The Merrick Garland testimony yesterday on Capitol Hill, I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I'm going to tell you I had to play a lot of catch-up in the last 2 days because I spent the last 2 days sleeping a lot. But I did spend a lot of time catching up and listening to Merrick, just watching him. just kind of seems like a weasel, and I hate to say that because it seems like I'm just being pejorative. But does this guy look like he's in command of the United States justice system? No, he looks like somebody is in command of him. Am I wrong?
No, you're
Just
all over it right now.
visually.
Just to what? Yeah, he looks like a yes man. Somebody's telling me what to do, and then I'm telling it. And then what I've got to do is then go out there and pretend like it's my idea and then try to make up excuses for why things are the way they are in the Justice Department.
Have you had personal contact with anyone at FBI headquarters about the Hunter Biden investigation?
I don't recollect the answer to that question, but the FBI works for the Justice Department. It's.
I'm sorry. You don't recollect. You don't recollect whether you've talked with anybody at FBI headquarters about an investigation of the president's son?
I don't believe that I did.
You know when I'm having a conversation with Ryan Wiggins, and I'm putting him on the spot, and I'm asking him a very direct, pointed question about something that he's never heard of before, but I'm trying to see how far he can take it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sounds like that.
Yeah. I was sitting there, I was listening to that. It's like, man, that sounds like a kid who was supposed to wash the dishes but didn't wash the dishes, and he is being questioned, and he's like, well,
I couldn't get the faucet to work because it was stuck, and then it got loose, but then I was out of time.
Do you remember me asking you to wash the dishes? I don't recollect.
Listen to the question he can't.
Have you had personal contact with anyone at FBI headquarters about the Hunter Biden investigation?
That is a very simple question. Have you had any personal contact?
Have you had personal contact with anyone at FBI headquarters about the Hunter Biden investigation?
He doesn't know. He's either incompetent, ignorant, or in big trouble. And I think it's the third, and maybe some of the first two. This is not a man who's in charge. You just know. You look at Joe Biden, not a man who's in charge.
Yeah, I was listening to a lot of that testimony in that thing, and it just seems like there's so many easy layups. Somebody asked him about whether or not he thought that traditional Catholics were a threat or a terrorist threat, and he couldn't just say no.
It's so stupid.
He danced around it just like this.
If you are an atheist who laughs at the ignorance of people who are so stupid as to believe in some sort of sentient God that exists somewhere else in some other ethos, and you just know that you're right on that, you should still be disgusted by Merrick Garland's comment. You should still look at what Merrick Garland says in that realm, that he's not allowed to defend Catholics. How do these people get reelected? How does it happen? How can Republicans, good grief, Annie, shut up, screw it up so much in 2024 that Joe Biden could get another shot? I have heard Mark Lauder, he said it on this show. He said it on other shows. Dory Murdoch has said it on this show. They keep saying, I don't understand. They always say it kind of like this, these people who don't think Trump and Biden are going to be the nominees. And I'm like, but I might be one of them. Explain to me why you're so confident, because, I'll fall on my knees and pray that Joe Biden continues to be the Democratic nominee because he is a horrific candidate for the Democratic Party. And I refuse to believe that the Democrats are so stupid as to think that he's their best shot. But then I hear people who I think are smart people say, of course he's their candidate. And I'm like, promise? Pretty please?
Man. Well, I think it goes back to your whole thing here where you were talking about he's not the one in charge. And if you can put somebody in charge, air quotes, in charge, that you can control, that you can manipulate, that you can get what you want, you don't have to face any of the criticism that person does, but you get all of your policy through that person. I think that's why they like Joe Biden. I think that he is the perfect proxy for them. He's not actually the one in charge, but he can push things through, but he catches all the flack for everything that goes poorly. And then if he doesn't get elected, well, they can just toss him aside and put somebody else up there.
It's impossible to consider in my mind. It's impossible to fit in my brain a second term for Joe Biden. I don't honestly think he's going to finish his first term. Hoping I'm wrong about that one as well, just like I was about the Cardinals making the playoffs, and you enjoyed your coffee today.
It's delicious.
Scooter's decaf Americano iced. The other two options, other than a weaponized justice system, and government on issues that could cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November 2024. Inflation. I think that one kind of speaks for itself. People know, like I was talking about the 12 pack, I guess 12 pack of cans of Diet Dr. Pepper that I bought for Ryan Wiggins for his birthday, $9.49 before tax.
That's unreal.
My jaw dropped. I was like, are you serious? And I mean, I'm blessed to not have to count the pennies when I go to the cash register, but that one I almost considered being like, I'm not buying that. But I knew Ryan liked it and he would appreciate it, so I got it anyway. But I had no idea that the cost of something like that, $9.49, especially even at a store that is like a convenience store pretty much, where you're paying a little extra for the ability to take that in. Inflation, people see everywhere. I think that I really do think, too, that in COVID, when everything was shut down, Donald Trump had a part in that, but he didn't have, in my opinion, the whole responsibility of it. Joe Biden loved the shutdown because after the Democrats were done shutting things down all over the country and all of their individual states and opening it up, Joe Biden's like, look at all the jobs I created. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. So inflation is another one. And then the last one is open borders. Have you seen the news reports that are coming out right now about what's taking place in Eagle Pass, Texas? They've declared a state of emergency in Eagle Pass, Texas. They are taking on thousands of people who are coming here, and they say that the border is open. They're coming here because they believe that the border is open. When you have Democrat cities across the country going, we are full. Yeah, you're sanctuary cities. You asked for it. Illinois is a sanctuary state. Why isn't this coming to an area near us here in the Metro East? I'm certain that it will. Every state is a border state, and all of these borders are open because of Joe Biden. Simply put, keeping it very simple. Donald Trump put out yesterday, I think it was yesterday, Donald Trump talked about how he's going to do something about it. And I checked ahead of time to make sure that Hans, had some thoughts and opinions on it. But Donald Trump said that he knows what he's going to do. He knows how he's going to handle this. And he's got a day one initiative about what he is going to do with these migrants as soon as he becomes president. He is going to immediately invoke a federal law that's going to give himself unilateral power to handle this situation. What's he going to do? Well, I'm going to ask Hans von Spakovsky when we come back and say, hey, can this guy, if Donald Trump becomes a president, can he in fact do this? Is that constitutional? It might sway your vote one way or the other. Go to the YouTube live chat poll on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and let us know which issue will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November 2024. Open borders, inflation, a weaponized justice system, or government overreach. We'll be back with Hans von Spakovsky when we return.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
A celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now.
The Retirement Advisory Group with Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw has these events throughout the course of the year, usually 5 or 6 of them. And this is the last one. It's coming up Tuesday, October 3rd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Seats are limited, so you need to reserve your spot at the Frontenac Hilton, 6:30 p.m., October 3rd. It's the Protecting Your Retirement educational event. You can call 314-993-9494 to reserve your space. Bring a friend, bring your spouse, maybe bring siblings or whatever, and learn how you can protect your retirement when you're shifting in your late 50s and your 60s away from working, and retirement is right around the corner. And you want to know, regardless of what the economy is doing, that the retirement savings that you've amassed are safe and are protected. That's the whole plan. That's the whole point of what the Retirement Advisory Group does in this evening. They provide snacks. It's quick. It's painless. It starts at 6:30. It may go 45 minutes. It's not the whole evening, so it doesn't consume a whole night. And there's no obligation. You just sit down and listen and learn and then decide what you want to do next. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Sign up today online at retirementkey.com.
It looks like wood. It feels like wood, but it's maintenance free. It's luxurious James Hardie siding. And during Banner Construction's 30th anniversary event, You get same-as-cash financing on Hardy products and Pella windows. Let Banner Construction transform your home into the envy of the neighborhood. Call now and have Banner's design team give you some great options and a free quote. 314-569-1050. Online, bannerconstruction.com. That's 569-1050. And have a banner day.
If you want to lose weight, I've got a great idea for you. Mark Cox here for my friends at Victory Men's Health. They're now offering FDA-approved semaglutide. They have tremendous results with this medication. The average patient loses 15% of their body weight. Men and women can get semaglutide from Victory Men's Health at any of their 3 locations. Be sure and book your appointment today online at victorymenshealth.com. When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house, and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25-RHINO.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Dogs on Duty supports working dogs, and 97.1 FM Talk proudly supports Dogs on Duty for this month's Conservatives Care. I'm Sue Thomas. Check out this great organization at 971talk.com/care.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
They are killing our citizens. They are invading our country. We have every right to hold them accountable and to fight back.
But with regard to bringing the military in to shoot them, just want to say you have touted yourself as the law and order candidate. How is that not a recipe for chaos?
It's not a recipe for... Right now is the recipe for chaos. I mean, you see all the people coming across the border. A lot of these countries like Venezuela, they're letting people out of prison and they're sending them to the border. I mean, what is happening in this country is a problem. There's Russians coming across the border. There's people from the Middle East.
We the people of the United States.
More perfect.
Your form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Well, Hans, I want to talk to you about Merrick Garland and his testimony yesterday. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about the border. Ron DeSantis talking about one solution that he's offered, which is military intervention on the southern border. But we also have heard Donald Trump come out, and he's taken a strong stance as well regarding the southern border. So we're going to get your thoughts on that. Thanks for being with us today. It's good to have you here.
Sure. Thanks for having me back.
So the president said, NBC News reports, former President Trump says if reelected, he would immediately invoke a federal law granting himself the unilateral power to detain and deport non-citizens in the United States who are older than 14 years old. That is a hard line take by former President Trump. I want to know, is that constitutional?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think he can actually use the particular statute he's referencing to do that, but I don't think he needs to use that particular statute because there are other immigration laws already tested in court that he could use. The statute that he was talking about is very short. It basically says that if there is a declared war between the U.S. and a foreign nation or government, or an invasion of the United States perpetrated by a foreign nation or government, the president can basically apprehend and remove any of the citizens of that particular country as long as they're over the age of 14. Well, the problem, I think, is obvious, Annie. There's no declared war between the U.S. and Mexico. And while we are having a huge flux of aliens coming across the border, I don't think you can say that it's the government of Mexico that's trying to invade us. But he doesn't need that statute. People seem to have forgotten. Remember what Trump did when he was president, right? Remember, he issued his travel orders, right? He suspended the entry of aliens from certain terrorist countries around the world, places like Syria, Iraq, North Korea. And remember, the left sued over that, saying, oh, you can't do that, right? That went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And in 2018, the Supreme Court said, no, the president has the power to do that. And he was doing it under this separate statute that basically says the president can suspend the entrance of any aliens or any class of aliens who he thinks are detrimental to the interests of the U.S. If he issued an order suspending the entry of any suspected drug dealers and members of a cartels, and that's who he was talking about, that order then would give him the ability, anytime those folks are found to have already been in the U.S., to be immediately deported.
Hans, when you're looking at the influx of people coming across the southern border, and there are so many different reasons why people are crossing the border, and there are so many different countries that they're crossing the border originally from. These are not Mexicans who are coming here, although I'm sure that some of those are included as well, but they're coming from all over the world, really.
Right.
Constitutionally speaking, what's your recommendation on the quickest, most effective thing that even Joe Biden could do right now to curtail this issue?
I think he should immediately shut down the border entirely for a given amount of time. He should immediately put in the kind of floating barriers all along the Rio Grande River that Texas has put in and that the Biden administration has sued him over to prevent smugglers and aliens from coming across the river. They should put up the wall all along the border to keep people out. And in fact, I think he actually should mobilize the National Guard and whatever Army units are necessary to supplement the Border Patrol to basically shut down the border. That could be done. It could easily be done. And yeah, would it be a lot of work? Well, of course. But look, an incident just this week shows how uninterested they are in doing that. The Texas governor, Greg Abbott, there were some spots along the river. Eagle Pass is one of the big entry points. And what did they do? Texas put out concertina wire, right? That's barbed wire that's used in military and other situations to keep people out. And what did the Biden administration do? They went in and cut and removed the wire. why would they do that unless they want illegal aliens coming across the border?
Hans, when you hear stories about this floating barrier with the barbed wire, and you hear stories about these agents who snipped this wire because there was a 3-year-old who drowned, got trapped, and drowned trying to cross the border. I mean, when you listen to the Biden administration really push the idea that they're the compassionate administration on this issue, and then they turn this barbed wire barrier into the bad guy because it hurts, in their minds, Greg Abbott politically. It's total chaos what is taking place on the southern border, and Texas has been left to fend for themselves. How do you react to what we should do constitutionally? You heard Ron DeSantis talking about getting the military involved. It sounds like you support that to an extent. How do we take the constitutional conservative hard line on this to do the right thing, the actual right thing?
Well, in fact, it's the policies of the Biden administration that are inhumane. Because if aliens knew they couldn't get across the border, if they know that there is a floating barrier they can't get past, then they are not going to attempt to get across the Rio Grande and drown doing it. If they know the border has been shut down, that there are real patrols, that those patrols will turn you back when they catch you, they wouldn't be handing themselves over to these brutal, dangerous cartels and these smugglers to try to get them across the border. So by opening the border in the way he is, Biden is actually the one who's being inhumane and telling these aliens, face all the dangers and come across the border into the United States. So actually the constitutional conservative position to take is the most humane one.
Well, we're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky, the Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, our friend here on the Annie Frey Show. I want to switch gears here and talk about Merrick Garland's testimony in front of the House committee yesterday. Jim Jordan was pressuring Merrick Garland on choosing a special counsel for the Hunter Biden case. I want to get your thoughts on this here.
This question, did you consider anyone else when David Weiss requested special counsel designation on August 8th?
No, Mr. Weiss asked to be made special counsel, and I did not consider an alternative. Of course, to have put in an alternative would have greatly disrupted an investigation that was already ongoing.
I want to be clear. He was the only one under consideration. It was either no special counsel, or if there was a special counsel, it was going to be the guy who presided over the investigation for the previous 5 years.
So I'm not a legal expert at all. That's why we have you on the show, Hans. Is it unusual in a circumstance like this that you would consider someone for the special counsel position outside of David Weiss, who had been the person who had investigated the Hunter Biden situation prior to this point in time? Should they have considered all of their options?
Yes, they should, particularly because the regulation, on these kind of investigations, special counsel investigations, it's not mandatory, but in essence, it says that if there is a conflict of interest, the Attorney General should appoint an outside counsel, someone who is not inside the Justice Department. And when you are investigating the son of your ultimate boss, the president, every single lawyer inside the Justice Department has a unwaverable conflict of interest. And they should have appointed someone from outside to take over this investigation, particularly in light of the incompetence that has been shown by David Weiss in the mishandling of this entire investigation.
So where do we go from here with this, what you heard yesterday in that hearing? I don't know if there was any bombshell. I heard Jesse Waters talking about how I think that maybe Merrick Garland perjured himself and an impeachment is imminent. A lot of this becomes sensational to me, and I wonder if anything is going to happen. Was yesterday any sort of bombshell?
Well, no, because in essence, Garland refused to answer any questions. Every single question he put aside and said, I can't answer that, or you got to ask David Weiss about that. I mean, it's as if you wouldn't think he's the head of the Justice Department who's supposed to know what's going on and who's supposed to approve what is happening. And the funniest line yesterday was him basically saying, well, any problems with the investigation conducted by David, well, that's Trump's fault.
It's like you're going to play the Trump card
Donald
once.
Trump's fault.
Yeah. I remember thinking, or I remember hearing a lot of the reaction anytime somebody who was under the microscope, especially by an Adam Schiff controlled committee, anytime there was any sort of pleading the fifth or an essence of pleading the fifth, the people on the left would pull their hair out because all that means is guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty. Is what we saw Merrick Garland do yesterday kind of similar to pleading the fifth, or is it an entirely different scenario?
Well, he wasn't pleading the fifth, but he might as well because he wouldn't answer a question. I mean, let me just give you an example of one question that Chip Roy, congressman from Texas, was asking him about. Remember, Chip Roy reminded Garland that he had issued this memo organizing this criminal task force to go after parents who show up at school board meetings and are supposedly threatening officials and others. And this was based on the reason they did this was based on a letter that a left-wing group had sent to the White House saying, oh, these people are domestic terrorists. Chip Roy simply asked Garland, is that memo still in effect? Have you rescinded it? And Garland wouldn't that's a yes or no question. Garland wouldn't answer the question. I mean, that was typical of his testimony throughout the day of not willing to answer even very easy, simple questions like that were just a yes or a no.
Is there any way to compel him to answer those questions? I mean, who's going to enforce if he's held in contempt or whatever? Like, then what? What's the process?
Well, that's the problem. Remember when Eric Holder was the Attorney General? He was held in contempt by the House of Representatives. First time that's ever happened in the entire history of the United States. And the Justice Department refused to enforce the contempt citation against Holder. So they would do the same thing here. The only way to go after Merrick Garland is to either impeach him or start hurting him with the budget process. Cut out the funding for his office, his travel budget. Do things that will really bite into what he's doing. I mean, he doesn't need that money anyway because he doesn't seem to be doing his job. That was pretty obvious from the testimony yesterday.
Yeah. I know people have conflicted thoughts and opinions on Mitch McConnell, but God bless that man for keeping him off the Supreme Court. My goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Yes. Hans von Spakovsky, one of our great friends here on the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us today.
Sure thing, anytime.
Of course. Bye-bye. Senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, author of the book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. Go get it now and read up. When we come back, Wiggins America in studio. He has something brilliant to discuss with us. What was it? Subject's not on here. I was going to tease it for him.
It's 5 things that Democrats are overestimating in the upcoming election.
Wonder if one of them is Ryan Wiggins. We'll be right back with Wiggins America in studio when we return.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Jen Teskey with Remax Alliance. It's the secret weapon. I dub her the secret weapon of real estate on the Illinois side. 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010. She is dedicated. She has an incredible team. We've had them in the studio before, but everybody who is working on the Jen Teskey Remax Alliance team is super dedicated, and they're fun. That always helps. Of course, you want somebody who's going to be able to walk you through and navigate those real estate transactions, whether you're buying or selling in Illinois. You want the person who knows what they're doing, understands the market, knows how to negotiate, knows how to communicate to you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear about positioning your home the best way possible for a great sale, maybe fast in your timeline. Jen Teskey does all of that, and her whole staff is there keeping the whole train moving down the tracks without any hiccups. She's got more than 15 years of experience helping families just like yours buy and sell homes. If you have a home to list, if you think you might want to sell and you're just trying to put your toe in the water to see maybe what you could get for it, you got to call Jen Teske and her team. 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010. JenTeskeHomes.com.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? Did you go with one of those high-deductible, limited network Obama plans? Well, you're not stuck with it. Or did you go with a health plan outside of the marketplace that's costing you an arm and a leg? There are better options. Kim Kiefer at H&L Agency offers plans where you only meet a deductible if you go into a hospital. You pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most other plans. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, you need to talk to an expert like Kim Kiefer. Call 800-975-2841. That's 800-975-2841. Or go to hnlagency.org. And is spelled out. That's HANDL agency.org. Kim can customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government. Again, call Kim at 800-975-2841. That's 800-975-2841.
And paid for by Case Legal Media. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those on the Marine Corps base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. Until now, North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve. But passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file a lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation, 800-291-3576. Don't wait. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-291-3576. That's 800-291-3576. Again, 800-291-3576.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
At a time when you need it most, Diamonds Direct is doing something that seems impossible. They're rolling back finance rates to 0%. You heard it right. Now through October 1st, you can get 0.0 for 5 years. So that $10,000 engagement ring is around $167 a month. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, make any purchase, divide the price by 60, and that's your payment. No interest for 5 years. It's the only time this year you can do this. Get details, showroom hours, and more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. On Approved credit.
Wiggins America coming up next, and then Tyrus right after that. The YouTube live chat poll of the day: which issue will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November 2024? Open borders, inflation, weaponized justice system, or government overreach? Let us know. We'll give you the results at the end of the show. The time right now, 12:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
You're listening to award-winning, thought-provoking talk. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
Your home for conservative talk.
On the air for over 20 years. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
So what I have here is 5 ways the Democrats have misstepped or miscalculated going into 2024. The way that the article is written
Whose article?
This is the Federalist. They're saying that this is past tense, like this is already done. So that's what I want to discuss with you. Is this actually a misstep already, or are we counting our chickens before they hatch here? Number one.
Chickens.
Number one, the indictments. Thank you for that contribution, by the way.
I'm rusty.
Yeah, it's been a couple days. You know what I'm going to go and do? And just say chickens.
I'm just going to repeat specific words that you say for emphasis.
It's kind of what Ryan does, though, isn't it?
It's exactly what Ryan does.
I do that when I don't know what else to say.
Ryan does color for the Annie Frey Show.
That's right. Color.
I hate you.
Number one.
I'm going home. It feels a little hot
Are you
here.
guys feeling better? I mean, you seem like you're better, but you're not 100%, are you?
No, I'm not 100%. I never have felt like the truck hit me other than a headache. Just drill in my headache. I had a volleyball game that I had to coach on Tuesday night. My son had a baseball game, one of 2 last games this week. And both times when I was at the volleyball game, I was just like rubbing my head so hard. And I'm like, I for a minute, I was like, these people probably think I'm just so stressed out about this volleyball game. But I can't see straight. And then last night, we're playing a baseball game. We're losing like 10-1. And I'm like rubbing my temples and massaging my scalp. And I'm like, I probably look like the most psychotic parent ever, down 10-1. And I'm like, no, I just would rather be in bed.
Yeah.
But I'm here trying to support my kids because the baseball season's almost over. Brad, say you're on the mend.
I'm on the mend. The truck hit me on Tuesday. And then Wednesday was a recovery day. So when I asked for Monday or for Tuesday off, I was like, hey, I need a day to recover.
Yeah, otherwise you never get better.
I was wrong.
Molly,
I needed 2.
My son was home Tuesday with me. I was more home Tuesday because of him. And then today, Molly is home from her normal sitter, who said that she would have taken her, but she went to the doctor and she has croup. So it's just that thing.
I'll tell you what, when you guys are out, I realize there are some things that I do not know how to do.
No!
One of those things is running a poll.
Let's talk about that in 2 o'clock hour.
Okay. All right. Number one, is this a Democrat misstep? Tell me what you think. The indictments, he says they've backfired. The criminal indictment of Trump was supposed to send him into a downward spiral. Democrats' reasoning was that no future sitting or former president has ever been indicted for a felony. Tag Trump with the mark of a criminal. They figured his followers would abandon him.
You know how I keep saying that Joe Biden's not going to be the nominee?
Yes.
I also tag that maybe 25, 30% of the time with, but I hope he is the nominee. I think that they want Donald Trump to be the nominee. Mm-hmm. I think they firmly believe that Donald Trump is the easiest Republican to beat because they're banking on how much people really do hate him. Knowing that there are people who really do love him, I think that they think the people motivated to vote against him are larger. I think that's a bet that they're willing to take because I think they know that their options on the Democrat side suck. But I think I think they're only playing this one inning at a time, and they need to get past the primary, and then they're going to have to regroup. I don't know what the indictments look like after Donald Trump is named the nominee. I don't know. I actually think that the indictments might hurt him more going into the general than Republicans do.
That was the point I was going to make, too. I think it's too early to call this a misstep because if they're just doing it for the primary, who knows what their goal was, but the goal is the general. I mean, all along,
but if you think you can beat Trump the easiest in the general, and you think you're going to fire up his base because people feel like they're going to be defending their guy and getting him across the primary, I don't know that that's a miscalculation, but I don't know that the Democrats are really working on calculating that far out. I think it's one step at a time.
Yeah, I'm actually right with you on that one. Number two, the Hunter Biden inside job got blown up. The press successfully scuttled the Hunter Biden laptop story in 2020, but the laptop still exists, and inevitably the full scope of its contents has trickled out. No big deal, they thought. Just a quick plea deal with Hunter, and we'll get this thing done, but it is not going away.
I agree with that. I also think that Joe Biden is their weakest nominee, maybe other than Kamala.
I agree with you on that, too.
But I think that I really do believe that the Democrats would like a way to get Joe Biden out of there and to be able to place the next anointed one, Michelle Obama, in there, and that person would be very hard to beat.
Man, you are not alone. I have had 2 or 3 people in my general daily life who barely know what I do.
Where do we fit in?
You're not my general daily life, and you're not people.
What do you call when you're talking to them? How do you refer to us?
Colleagues. Not definitely not coworkers or friends. Colleagues. These are my work colleagues.
Do you feel smarter that way?
Yeah, okay. I straighten my tie even though I'm not wearing one. Like you're wearing a t-shirt.
You notice Ryan Wiggins has this itch up around his neck all the time? It seems like he's uncomfortable.
He usually clears his throat.
These random people have also said, I think it's going to be Michelle Obama. Randomly. They've just said that. And I'm like,
because they listen
wow.
to the show, and I keep saying it.
They
and have been saying it for over a year.
Number 3, there was no competitive GOP primary. The post-2022 backlash against Trump was supposed to be a harbinger of bruising Republican primary, like the one we saw in 2012. It was supposed to be a big fight that was going to tear down Trump, and it just hasn't.
I was thinking about this on the way into work today. Once we see what happens in Iowa, I want to see the polls. I don't even necessarily care if DeSantis wins, but I want to see how do the polls compared to what percentage DeSantis gets. Because I don't think that it's a popular thing as a Republican in a primary time right now to say something that's against Trump. I think it's a lot easier I think there are a lot of people who wholeheartedly, fully support Donald Trump and are worried about his electability. Who would think that a vote for DeSantis or a vote for Nikki Haley or a vote for maybe Vivek Ramaswamy, I think that people feel like a vote for them might be a vote for Donald Trump because if they're worried that Donald Trump can win the actual general, they know that that's the best way to protect Trump because a Republican has to win.
Right, I hear what you're saying when it comes to the actual ballot box.
So I want to see in Iowa if the polls reflect the actual turnout. And if it does, and Trump is the guy, Trump's the guy. If there is a discrepancy, because the DeSantis people feel much better about Iowa than the news stories say.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, that's what they're going to say.
Yeah, of course. Everybody feels better about Iowa. Number 4, Cornel West. A core assumption is that the Democrat machine apparatus is that Trump terrifies their base so much that nobody will dare deflect to another candidate. But in steps, Cornel West is the Green Party candidate.
Lefty or right people on the right going to vote for Cornel West?
No, they're just saying that Trump would motivate Democrats so much that they wouldn't dare vote for anybody else, but they might.
But they might vote for Cornel West.
Yes.
So Cornel West could Ross Perot.
Yeah. And the last one is the same, no labels. Could they enter and disrupt things in the same way?
They should not be allowed to participate because their name sucks.
It does suck. Yeah, it does. Just call yourself labels.
Is there anything you stand for? Can we talk about what you're like, we're whatever we want to be.
Yeah.
Whatever you need us to be, because that's really what it is.
It is what it is.
Stand for something. Tyrus on the Annie Frey Show when we come back.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Story Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Story Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Call today at 314-238-7360. That's 314-238-7360. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
CAJonesInc.com, CajonesInc.com is kind of the way I like to talk about it because I think it's funny. They are dedicated to improving lives through quality homes and community involvement. And they build homes on the Illinois side of the river, and they are gorgeous homes for all different sizes of families and expectations and wants and needs. When you walk through, I've been in multiple C.A. Jones homes. I think I've been in 3 or 4 of them, all across the Metro East, but I've also been multiple times into their location in Fairview Heights. Very simple to get to. You can walk in and you get to see all the different finishes you can get for a kitchen or the cabinetry or maybe the different kinds of siding that you can put on the side of your house. It's just gorgeous finishes that make it really personal so that your home isn't like every other home. It's the one that you chose for you. If you're looking to build on the Illinois side of the river, reach out to my friends at C.A. Jones. They are going to help you through that entire process, and you'll be very, very glad you chose them. Find them online at CAJonesInc.com.
If you're ready to start your next outdoor project right now and you'd like to save some money, listen up. Mark Cox here for Chesterfield Fence and Deck. If you mention my name, you'll save 20% off your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Go to chesterfieldfence.com or pay them a visit at their beautiful showroom down in the Chesterfield Valley, just off 109 across from the outlet malls. Listen, this is a fantastic family-owned operation since 1968, and this is what I love about it. They'll come to your home, they'll give you a free estimate at no obligation, and even help you out with ideas. Free project design. They can show you what other people are doing, or maybe you've got your own great ideas. They've got fences, decks, custom sunrooms, screen rooms, pergolas, patios, you name it. They can take care of it, and they're a BBB Torch Award winner. Check them out today at chesterfieldfence.com or call 636-532-4054.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
More U.S. aid for Ukraine. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
President Biden will announce a new package of military assistance today that includes significant air defense capabilities to help Ukraine protect its people.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan ahead of a White House meeting between President Biden and Ukrainian President Zelensky, who's first holding meetings on Capitol Hill, where some Republicans want more accountability for the billions already spent. A defense bill fails to advance again with another handful of Republican holdouts in the House.
After a closed-door meeting Wednesday night, Republicans were successful in flipping 2 of the 5 no votes to pass a rule to allow debate and a vote on the yearly defense spending bill. But the GOP lost 2 members when they flipped their yes vote from earlier in the week to no. One of them was Georgia's Marjorie Taylor Greene, who claims Ukraine funding wasn't taken out. That didn't sit well with Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw.
Fine, you're against that policy, but you don't defund the whole DOD for that.
Other Republicans who voted no have raised concerns about spending levels.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy criticizing the holdouts as they accuse him of spending too much time on short-term efforts to avoid a government shutdown next week. An execution in Oklahoma where Anthony Sanchez died by lethal injection today for the murder of a University of Oklahoma student nearly 3 decades ago.
Sanchez was convicted of killing ballet dancer Julie Buskin in 1996. She has since had a memorial dance scholarship established in her name at the Norman, Oklahoma University. Sanchez maintained his innocence to the end, but also opted not to apply for clemency with the state parole board. The victim's family did not witness the execution, but State Attorney General Gentner Drummond said this is closure for them.
Fox's Gernal Scott. America is listening to Fox News.
Paid for by government.com. Have you heard? Morgan's silver dollars are back for 2023. For the 100th anniversary, the U.S. Mint released the first legal tender Morgans in 100 years. They sold out instantly. Now, Morgan's silver dollars are back in 2023, minted in 99.9% pure silver, but only 275,000 coins were minted, and they will go fast. The entire market and experts agree this is a big deal and an amazing opportunity for both coin and silver buyers. Just call 1-800-859-1518 and you are guaranteed a 2023 brand new uncirculated 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. But with limited quantities, you must call now. To learn more, call 1-800-859-1518. Plus, you'll receive a free bonus Patriots pack, new and improved, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-859-1518 now to secure your new 2023 Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-859-1518.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We have a mix of clouds and sunshine on this Thursday afternoon. Showers pretty hard to find, a little bit of a break. 82, though, for the high, above average. Tonight, clouds, a couple of more scattered showers move in later on. 62 Friday, partly sunny. A lot of dry time, but a couple of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder possible Friday. And 82. Fall officially begins early morning on Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
ClassicKitchenRefacing.com. Oh my goodness, the beautiful transformation that when you visit St. Anne, that's where I went to see the Classic Kitchen Refacing store, the storefront there, went in and looked at the gorgeous Cambria countertops, thinking about putting some in my kitchen because they're stunning and top-of-the-line countertops that can help with the refacing of your entire kitchen. But also, let's talk about those cabinets, those old, dated cabinets that you have in your kitchen. You've been thinking about how you need to get them out of there. You need to put something in modern. Maybe the handles are kind of falling off or the hinges don't work right. I got one cabinet door in my kitchen right now, and it just opens like 2 inches all the time. It's awful. It makes me crazy. When you have Classic Kitchen Refacing come in, they take your cabinets. They don't take them out and replace them, which is incredibly expensive. They reface them. They can change the look of your cabinets to a wood or paint color and give you the brand new look of a kitchen for extremely less of a price. Go to Classic Kitchen Refacing. These are your people, folks. I promise you. Call them at 314-739-1730. That's 314-739-1730. Or you can find them online at classickitchenrefacing.com.
Kansas City Chiefs football is on 97.1 FM Talk. This Sunday, pregame at 2, kickoff at 3:15. Listen live exclusively here. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan, president of McKelvey Homes. Founded in 1898, McKelvey Homes is celebrating 125 years with our inventory home sale. Get $12,500 off of all our market homes. Move in quick, lock in your interest rate, and get all the popular features and colors selected by design professionals. And for every home sold, McKelvey Homes will donate $1,898 to Dravet Syndrome Foundation. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
With the Wholesale Formula Seminar, find out how to start your own Amazon business.
Hey, Emric Manello. 2 years after attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was able to sell my Amazon business for over $400,000.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula Seminar to learn how to work from home while raising my son. Today, I do $175,000 in sales per month.
Hi, I'm Hillary. Before attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was a school teacher. Today, I work from home selling products on Amazon.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired, or just need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how. Attend Dylan's live in-person seminar for only $49.99, guaranteed or your money back. That's right, discover the easy way to make money with Amazon. Meet Dylan Frost at the Wholesale Formula Live 2-hour seminar Saturday, September 30th, 11 a.m. at Aviator Hotel, Lindbergh Boulevard, St. Louis, Missouri. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
STL Today is named Under Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm. We'll continue to make a difference, one case at a time.
When you're injured, call Under Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. September is World Ozone Month, so it's a great month to get rid of all your aerosol sprays. When we each share a one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
This hour of the Annie Fry Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
The dysfunction in Congress is the tip of the spear of an unsettling political depression in America. A new report from Pew highlights the dismal and cynical view of politics that Americans hold about Congress, candidates, and government. Get this, only 5% of Americans, 5% say the political system works very or extremely well, while nearly 3/4 say it doesn't work too well, if at all. And trust in the government has hit a 70-year low, with just 16% saying they trust the federal government to do the right thing all or most of the time. Keep those numbers in mind the next time there's a debate about saving our democracy, because right now voters don't seem to view our current system as very much worth saving.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Well, he's Tyrus. He's a Fox News contributor. He's on Gutfeld. He's got a podcast, Tyrus and Tim podcast, and he's an author, and he's here with us each Thursday. Tyrus, are you shocked to find out that people don't trust the American government?
No, not really. Can't blame them. I think if they did, they probably need to see somebody.
We got a lot of problems facing ourselves right now here in the Midwest. People are experiencing inflation, high gas prices, high grocery prices. We've seen what the open borders are doing to every state. Every state's a border state right now. People are questioning the Merrick Garland situation and whether he's got the American interest at the forefront or if he's got Joe Biden's interest at the forefront. And we're seeing the government stretch into our lives and try to make a ton of decisions for us. Big problems. Who fixes these problems if we don't trust the government to do it?
Well, they never actually fix anything. So it's not, unfortunately, it's the same old song and dance. We rarely see, unless somehow or some way it vastly enriches them. If it doesn't put money in their pocket short term, then they're not going to do anything. I think we need to start, and a lot of it has to go with, we're just lazy voters in this country. We just gotta admit it. We're lazy voters. Like, there's no reason for a Mitch McConnell or Nancy Pelosi or a Chuck Schumacher to still be in office. There's no reason for it. It's just we're lazy. We need to start, since President Trump made everything transparent and polarized and all that kind of stuff. We need to take it to the next level. We need to start having, whenever these politicians come on the air, for people to see, because they love to be on TV a lot instead of in their office actually working. We need to have a stat line up. We need to say promises made, promises kept, the platform they ran on, are they following it, how much money they've cost the American people. So they need to have a rating system. So when they have their congressman or congresswoman come on Fox or another news network, that they can see actually how much work they're getting done, how many campaign promises they fulfilled. And I think when Americans started seeing that consistently, they'd be like, wow, this guy's terrible. We got to get him out of office, And I think we need to just take transparency to the next level because that's the only way you can start getting just better voting. Term limits, they're never going to do it. They're never going to turn off they launder their money through they get rich off our taxes. They pay countries and turn around and pay them with our money. So they're not ever going to have term limits. They're never going to try. They're going to continue to just sell us wolf tickets, have us fighting over first world problems, have us acting like a group that represents less than 1% of our country needs to be the focus of every American. So we just got to vote a lot better across the board.
We're speaking with Tyrus, our Thursday friend here on the Annie Frey Show. You see him on Gutfeld. He's a Fox News contributor. And your book that is coming out here, is it a couple months? When is the actual official release of Enough Said?
November 17th.
So you said November 17th?
Yeah, right in time for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, good Christmas present for folks. When you decided to come out and write a second book and call it Enough Said, and you're talking about transparency, I mean, everybody right now has something to say. And everybody has a phone, so everybody has a platform to reach the entire world, and they think that every time they say something, that the entire world is going to consume it. But you're saying Enough Said with your new book title. What are the issues you think that are facing our culture right now, and of course our politics, which is downstream from culture, where you think people need to speak up a little bit more and say the obvious out loud? Because the things that are so obvious to us, many people have been kind of spooked into just sitting down and going, okay, I know that to be true, but I'm not going to be the one to say it.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is what I talk in the book is stop getting caught up in first world problems. We need to stop allowing, and again, I guess since we're talking about politicians who don't really run for you, they run for themselves or their party. You should be voting them out. We need to be looking a hard look in the mirror. We cannot fix, if the system's broke, well, it's our fault. Because we're allowing, and a lot of times you go back to sports and stuff. If you had a head coach, like you take the Chicago Bears right now, who have lost 12 games in a row, there's not one fan saying this is a great coach, and if it was up to me, I'm going to bring him back. But we keep having these losing record politicians who all they do is get rich off us, but we continue to bring them back. So, it just comes down to accountability. Look in the mirror. If you're going to vote, don't vote party, vote your household.
Yeah.
Start you want to spend the time you spend on Twitter trying to find out what somebody ate or where they got their outfit. You could also look at somebody's voting record. You could also look at, again, we need stats. I know there's some statisticians out there. We need some stats.
There's an industry here. I think you've scratched on something because, yes, what's your batting average? If you're watching baseball and someone's hitting 330, that's below 500, but people know that 330, you're like, can we sign that guy? What is the batting average of these folks?
Well, a lot of them they'll be batting like 1-9 because they run on thing and then they get in the office and they fall in line, or they only worry about their people who donated to their campaign. If let's just say if old Mitch McConnell gets up and says, man, this guy hasn't done 50% of the things he's going to run, and he's running under 50% of campaign promises and actual voting the way he said he was going to vote. You know what? Or he put a lot of spending in after he promised us he wasn't going to do any spending. Then you'd be like, wow, you know what? This guy isn't a good politician. Look at his average. He's a 106. So let's say a Rand Paul, who's been pretty consistent, and he's up in 40% of the things that he's worked on, he's got done, because we understand that it has to, or he's voted the way that he said he was going to vote. His voting is 90. He averages 98% of voting off his campaign promises. Then you'd be like, you know what? That's the guy that we need to continue to vote for.
Yeah.
So we need stats. These guys need averages. We need to stop listening to AOC talk about climate control and things like that, and look what she's doing to her district. Then you go to the district and like, wow, she's cost us jobs. How many jobs have been on her watch? How many layoffs? How many this? How many deficits? Like, what's the cost of gas from the time they're in the office? We start looking at these things and we have stats to run them up. You could literally have fantasy. I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud.
I'm ready to sign up. Where do I go?
Fantasy.
I'm coming up with a really cool username right now.
Fantasy politician leagues. So,
the fannies, that's what we're going to be over here, fannies.
No, and this is a lot of drafting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be the most boring draft party ever.
Who are you drafting first? Who do you think who is an elected official right now? I don't even care where they're elected, but who do you think is out there representing their constituents and not their own special interests? Is there anybody who really comes to mind?
I feel like Rand Paul does that. And I think a lot, if you know the name of your politician because you see him on TV all the time, that should be a red flag. When you got to look up your guy's name because he's busy working, then that's probably a good thing. But when they have so much free time to go on TV and argue about world issues instead of dealing with what's going on in your neighborhood and your cities, I don't know how any politician in New York or any of these other cities where the crime rate's out of control.
St. Louis, right here.
Yeah, and can go on TV and want to argue about, what flag you fly over your household or your school. Our priorities are, but we've allowed, again, you have to look in the mirror. Like, you have to start going, you know what, I got to start voting right. If I have to vote against my party to make sure that my household is the best opportunity to succeed, then you do that. You don't just fall in line. You just don't, because not all Republicans are good Republicans. Sometimes you got to look at the independent or even look across the aisle. Like, well, this is a Democrat, but man, he's really tight on fiscal spending. He's, but he's this and that. Or I can deal with a couple of programs if you can get the price of eggs down. Like, we have to start looking at it. Everyone wants to be smart with their phones and stuff. Well, start Googling stuff about your politicians. Make votes that are smart and stop voting based off how cool you are or somebody likes you. Because here's the deal. You think it doesn't matter who you are, who your favorite politician is. They don't know you. They don't care. You're not in their bubble. You're not cutting them a check. So when we see people defend them and go after them and act like they're friends, and they're not, so at least take that energy and protect your own. Start looking at what's going on in your own household. Then you'll see the politicians actually had to do what they had to say and had to also disclose their money making, because there's no reason a person whose life has been in civil service should be rich or own mansions unless he's on the take. It doesn't make sense. There's no way, and since we'll look at the top, let's just start at the top. How does Joe Biden, who spent his whole life in public service, own mansions?
They're trying to cover that up right now, actually, I think, Tyrus. I think that's the question nobody wants to answer.
Look across the board. It's not just the Democrats seem to be the ones who are just really go extravagant with it, but there's Republicans too. Like when we look at when I see a Republican go to speak and gets $300,000 for a speech, come on, like stop. You know, but they'll go after a college kid for taking a check from a booster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just we need to start looking at them like, oh, since they've been in office for 8 years and they came into office, the net worth was $135,000 but they had $200,000 in debt, and now all of a sudden they have $4.5 million in the bank and they own 3 properties. Then you got to say, okay, where is this money coming from? Are you paying taxes on it? Why is everything that we get? You and I would save up and go buy a boat for the family. We're not going to just say, well, it's a donation.
Yeah.
We got taxes on it. Like, we just have to be, and it's not a lot of work if we all do it. But you got to want it.
Yeah. I think the last question I want to ask you before we let you go, we're speaking with Tyrus right now, is when we're looking into who is representing us and how they're actually performing, we're checking out their stats to see if they deserve another contract, so to speak. When we listen to, the closer we get to an election, the rhetoric just goes through the roof. This is kind of where I think Nuff Said comes in, because you have a way of grounding the conversation in a very helpful way for people. But you hear, this is the phrase that always blows my mind. If you don't vote for us and our party, it is the end of democracy. And I'm always kind of thinking, but isn't democracy where I get to decide? And that maybe we can't only have one party be in power all the time to maintain democracy. That kind of sounds like the opposite of democracy. And then another side will say, if this person gets elected, we're going to get into World War III. I mean, the most massive, terrible things that you can think would happen unless you vote for us. And in the meantime, inflation's through the roof, and the borders are open, and so on and so forth. What do you think is the real solution here to fixing some of these problems for real Americans who just don't want to spend $7 a gallon on gas?
So when you have somebody running an election to want to serve the people and their whole point of their election is how bad the other guy is, don't vote for him. He has no plan. He only knows fear. And when he gets in, he has no clue what he's doing. And we're kind of living that right now. So that would be my first red flag. I always, I was very critical of President Trump during his second term, or when he was running for his second term, how he kept attacking Joe. And I thought, stick to what you've done well. Remind everybody what the programs you've done, how quick you got us vaccines, how quick you got things, how you got the taxes lower, how you did, remember your deeds. Yeah. And let us know about the new deeds. Fighting with him just led to the fear mongering that he played. Unfortunately, I hate to, but he did. He played in their hands, and it got us where we are now. But you have to stop when a guy runs attack campaigns. I don't need to attack anyone if I'm good at my job.
Right.
I don't need to go on every night and say the reason why I have the highest demographic when I'm on TV is because I sit there for 20 minutes and bash Kimmel and then before I speak. No, I just do my thing, and then I'll leave it up to you. So when you're voting for a politician who runs on what he's going to do and what he's trying to do, that's a guy you can have a conversation with. That's a guy you can go to a town hall with. When you have a guy who's like, if you don't vote for me, it's going to be the end of the world as we know it, tell him I've seen Star Wars. It never really finishes that way. So, and just move on. But we have to stop it. But we allow them to do that. If a campaign guy has a ton of money, you should ask questions. Why does this guy have so much money? What is he making promises? Why would I cut a check for let's say I have a family of 4 and I make, $50,000 a year, and I'm cutting a check for $2,000 for a guy, I got to really believe in him, and I have to know I have something coming back. So if you have a guy with this giant war chest and he's getting checks from giant vendors and people are writing checks in the name of their kids and stuff because they exceeded the amount they could donate, you already know this dude's a crook.
Yeah. The transparency is so necessary, and the accountability. And if the American people don't harness the power, the structure the Constitution gives to the American people to sit at the top of that power pyramid, they're going to take every inch they can get until you realize they've taken a mile. And it really has to happen with the American people paying attention to their voters and not just voting party, but voting for the right people who have those policy principles like you're talking about, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, and real quick, there's a difference. Like, someone says something about you that's a lie, and then you slay them in a debate. That's not the same thing as somebody's warmongering. So to be clear, you can lay us the smack down, but do it when it's appropriate, and the American people will be like, I make sense to me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm going to encourage everyone to go pre-order Enough Said, which comes out November 17th. Get it for a stocking stuffer for somebody in your life, Tyrus. I read your first book, and I can't wait to see the second one. And we always look forward to having your chats here on Thursdays. Thanks for being here.
Always a pleasure, since neither one of us can talk about playoffs.
I thought about it, and I'm like, oh, man, we are so bad. And I asked my friend whose son pitches for the Red Sox, Tanner Houck, and they're like, no, they're not in contention. So then I was like, I wonder how hockey's going to be. I don't have any clue either. You guys are probably – are we going to be good, Brad?
We have every shot at being good.
What about the Bruins? Are they going to be good?
The Bruins are always good.
Tyrus, the Bruins going to
we
be
have the best record in the world, and we were out in the first round.
Yeah, you've said that before. You don't like to go into the postseason with momentum.
No, not if you're a Boston fan.
All right. Well, maybe we'll have some hockey smack to talk later, but the baseball will just kind of high five in the back of the room and sulk. That's the way it is right now.
Let's push that stat line.
Yeah, stat lines. Let's look at politician stats. That's where I'll be. Thanks, Tyrus. Good to talk to you. Bye-bye. He is on Gutfeld. He's a Fox News contributor. He is a co-host of Tyrus and Tim's podcast, and his book, Enough Said, is coming out in November. Pre-order it now. You can find him on Twitter, @PlanetTyrus. And if you like hearing him, make sure you go into Twitter and tell him, hi, hello, thanks for being on the Andy Frey Show. You enjoy listening to him. That's always pretty cool. Let's take a quick break. We'll get Wiggins back in here for the rest of the show. We got 2:25. Andy, are you okay with Trisha? And Brad and I are back and feeling 75%, 80%? 85%?
You say that like you're asking me. I don't know what you're feeling.
I don't know how you feel. I'm asking you.
I'm about 85.
85. I'm about 86. We'll be right back.
Just a little better.
She's a crazy noise. She's a powerful force. You're the blind to conform when there's no other cause. She used to look good to me, but now I find her simply irresistible.
TheDiamondShop.net's Thursday, September 21st. That's today. The Sip and Shop event is happening tonight. 40% off all sapphire jewelry and an extra 10% for VIPs. Get over to the website right now, TheDiamondShop.net, and sign up to be a VIP. The event is tonight from 5 to 7:30 p.m. If you are looking for something special for yourself or for someone else, especially for the holiday season that is upon us, something beautiful in sapphire might be the treat. During the event, all sapphire jewelry will be 40% off. VIPs get an extra 10% off any purchase, and you can enjoy a glass of wine and check out all the new merchandise heading into the fall while getting great deals on September's birthstone. All month in September right now, 30% off all in-stock diamond jewelry and engagement rings, and again, an extra 10% for VIPs. Reach out to my friends at the Diamond Shop. Find something beautiful, get that little red bag, take it home, give it to someone special. You'll make their evening. I stand by my relationship with the people at the Diamond Shop. They've helped me navigate several purchases there, my husband as well, and they've never steered us wrong. You can join the Diamond Shop family with the Frey family by going online to thediamondshop.net.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
There are a lot of smart business people out there making smart decisions by getting Rhino Shield. The latest one, the Central Illinois Care Services They have decided to go with Rhino Shield on the outside of their building so they won't have to worry about maintenance from now on. The list is long. Joe's Tire out in Sullivan, Stonehill Wineries in Herman. They've all got Rhino Shield on their buildings. You can have it on your business or your house. Just call 877-25-RHINO. Let Darren come out and give you a free estimate as to what it would cost to get this great product on your home. 25-year transferable warranty, 100% waterproof, 8 to 10 times thicker than paint, and as a satisfied customer, 15 years in, I can tell you it looks as good as the day they put it on. You're going to love Rhino Shield. Call them right now. Tell them you heard about it on the Mark Cox Morning Show. Again, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Learn to make money 5 ways with rental real estate. Double your money with apartments and get your map to financial freedom. And that map starts with a free workshop. Sign up now at lifestylesunlimited.com. Click on the Join Free Workshop tab and attend online or in person. That's lifestylesunlimited.com. Lifestylesunlimited.com. Again, that's lifestylesunlimited.com. Limited seating, unlimited potential.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Try to bring up some facts about Hunter Biden, you get booted off a podcast featuring a New York Times reporter. That's exactly what happened to my friend Peter Zane with Real Clear Politics. He'll explain Thursday afternoon.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Then that time I went and said goodbye. Now I'm back and not ashamed to cry. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours.
What do you guys want to talk about? How do you do this?
Let's talk about something super controversial. I don't know what it is yet.
Tell me what you saw. You just saw the president of Brazil, President Biden. Just illustrate that for the people who maybe haven't seen the video yet.
Okay, I'll try to talk through it. So I guess this was yesterday. The president of the United States is standing on stage right. So if you're looking at it, would be the left side of the screen, and the president of Brazil is standing on the right side of the screen.
You could, since these aren't stage drama folks listening, you could just say
I could say right side, left side.
Yeah,
okay.
Instead of making it extra confusing.
Well, I'm really worried about our thespian contingent.
He wants you to know he was in the industry.
We know that he was in the industry, and I know what stage right is. And when he explained it, I'm like, no, Biden was on the left. Oh, okay.
So one's on the left, one's on the right. There's another guy in between.
What if you were looking down on them?
Still the same.
But not if you were positioned from
Not
a perpendicular.
If you switched it around.
If you were on the other side, then it would be staged left and right.
Like if you were a bird and you flew up from behind the stage.
And perspective would move.
Yeah, then Biden would have been on your wing right.
I think it's safe to say that Biden was on the left.
I think I just discovered that was the only way that you would say Biden was right-winged. Is that if you were a bird flying up on the stage internationally and you saw Biden yesterday.
Biden was on the left. The president of Brazil was on the right.
Indeed. There was another man in the middle. I don't know who he was.
He's not important.
And the president of Brazil, the speech is over. President of Brazil goes to shake that man's hand. They shake hands. He steps as if he's going to shake Biden's hand. Biden kind of looks around in the air I don't know what he's looking for because
Neither does he.
There's going to be a person up here. And then he just starts walking off the stage. The president of Brazil had clearly been walking over to shake his hand. He goes, I guess he kind of looks at his people, puts his hands up, and then just waves everybody off. So it's just embarrassing looking to if that was the one incident, you wouldn't think a thing of it. But it's every time these things happen. There's a formality to it that he does not follow, and he doesn't look like he knows where he is.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, and he's on the world stage. This is what we're projecting to the rest of the world, and people are wondering why Russia went into Ukraine. It isn't because of Biden's business dealings. It's because they are like, that guy's a goob.
Do you know who Shane Gillis is?
Is he related to Dobie?
He is American comedian and a radio personality. I just want to give proper credit where credit is due. Wikipedia says he's an American stand-up comedian, radio personality, sketch comedy writer, and podcaster. He is like a year younger than me, so he's in his late 30s. And I found this hilarious. This was a tweet that was put up by Jason Howerton. He said, one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard was from Shane Gillis's new special. My favorite thing about Biden is anytime Biden finishes a speech, he transforms into a Roomba.
It's true. That's very true.
It's not something you will ever unsee. Nope, Fern. Got to turn around and go, oh, flag. Nope. Oh, president of Brazil. Sorry.
Oh, man. It's funny because we actually put Joe Biden's picture on our vacuum.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. It bumps around it's been there since we got it. We refer to it as Joe Biden.
That's weird. Gosh, that's crazy that you already did that.
It just bumps into things and wanders around the house.
Ooh, there might be an industry for like Roomba covers with Joe Biden's face.
Yeah.
You know the meme where he's going like, no, that's the Hillary Clinton.
The Hillary Clinton balloon one.
No, they're the one where he's going like this. He's like acting like he's kind of shocked at something someone was saying. He kind of jerks his head back with his eyebrows up and his eyes wide open.
That's the picture we put on ours.
Yeah, there you go.
Amazing.
You need to get a little Roomba cover.
I'll send a picture. I'll tweet it out whenever I get home. I'll snap a picture of Joe Biden and send it out.
I'll tell you what, I'll buy one as long as you can also give me a container for the stuff the Roomba picks up that's bigger. That's what they need.
I'm not selling anything.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I just printed it off and put it on there.
Well, I'm in the market for that.
You know what else there's a huge market for? And I'm just going to give this idea away right now. Why? Because I need it to happen sooner than I can make it happen. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Bag chairs.
Beanbag chairs?
No.
No, the
chairs that come in a bag.
Yes.
There's something better than a bag.
Wait a minute.
What? Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You take that folding chair out of the bag that's super handy, sling it across your back. You can carry all the things, your purse, the water bottles.
See.
You go watch at the end of a youth sporting event that takes place outside, baseball, soccer, probably football and stuff. Watch people try to get those dang shit chairs back into those bags.
Careful.
I'm heated about this.
I'm with you, though.
There is something better than that bag. You could make a crappier chair that would go into a better contraption and make tons of money. Go make it happen. Give me a chair, and I will be your endorser.
Does it even have to go in a bag? I mean,
I
can
was
you
gonna
just put
tell
the
you.
strap on the chair?
Just give it up.
And you fold it up.
Give up
and
on the bag.
straps on the chair, and then you can still do everything you can.
Every time I put the chair in the bag, I'm like, why am I doing this?
Don't do it anymore.
I'm just gonna. I know, but I feel like I'm supposed to.
No, you don't have to
It's an
follow their
obligation.
rules. They did this to you. You don't have to
That is
follow what they say.
Exactly what it feels like.
Yes, I know.
They
Don't
did
do
it to me.
I gave up on the bags a long time ago, Annie, and my life has never been better. There are times though that it is a little bit annoying to have to carry that chair with one hand across a long field because a lot of times you got to walk a long way.
Just imagining you walking high-stepping like Joe Biden across the grass, holding your chair straight out in front of you.
That is what I do.
It's so ridiculous. It's actually probably the best thing about those bag chairs. It's the way you bond with the other parents on the team. Is you're done with the game and you win and everybody's happy and you're like, oh, these chairs, they get me every time. And then you start talking to one another. Yeah, me too. I hate this chair. Why do I do this? I don't know, but I do it every time. You lose, then you get to take the frustration out on the stupid bag that doesn't fit on the chair and you don't know how it happened in the first place.
What I don't like, though, is the keeping up with the Joneses with the chairs that takes place now.
That's why we need to invent something better, and then all of those little several people will be struggling with your chairs, and you'll just be like, zip, and
now,
then you'll be done.
Now there's the ones with the hydraulics that you can rock
Yeah, I have
on a
one of
little
those.
bit, and you can carry those over your back a little bit easier because they don't have a bag.
Yes, they do.
Oh, then we're talking about a different one then.
Well, I'm talking about the premier. I bought one for me for Christmas for myself.
Oh.
And I told my husband, I got this. I want a chair because my in-laws wanted them. So I was buying some for them.
I mean, there's heated ones.
They're not cheap.
I don't know what you have, but it still has a bag.
Yes.
There are some that do not have bags now.
Cheaper ones.
But they're not, like Brad just said, the solution is to have one where you have a little strap.
You just put the strap on the chair.
Put a strap around it, and you're done with it. These don't do that. They fold up into like a traditional lawn chair pose.
Have you
and then
ever
you carry them over your shoulder.
been shopping for a car and been more concerned about the placement of the cup holders than like the driver's seat?
Not the placement, but I want a bunch of them.
Lots.
Yeah.
There can't be there's never too many.
No.
Cup holders on lawn chairs, huge.
And why most of them only have one?
Mine-
Most of them have one side with a cup holder.
I got rid of the expensive chair that I bought. It like a screw came out. It was a rocking one, high back, so that you're not like you can lean back in it when you're just exasperated from the game you're watching, and you're like, I need to relax. Or if you have a really bad headache. I bought a new chair. Bought it from Walmart. It was maybe 75% of the cost of the more expensive ones, and it has one cup holder on the left that will fit a Yeti in it, like a 32-ounce Yeti, because we have to start talking about the size of cup holders. They are not like a 24-ounce McDonald's cup. Nobody uses that anymore. We have insulated tumblers that need to fit in the cup holders because there's nothing more annoying than a cup holder that's right there and doesn't fit your cup, other than a bag that won't fit your chair.
That is more annoying. You're right.
On the right side of my chair, though, there is like a slot, and it's like it's about the size of 2 Yetis wide, but it's just open. And it's just a place to put things so it doesn't fall.
Your chair has the loosest slots.
Yep, slot.
I got one at Wally's for $6.
We can't talk about Wally's now because I could talk the rest of the show about Wally's.
Last year I got one at Wally's for $6. They had a sale on them. I grabbed one. That's the only chair I use now because it weighs about 1 pound. And it's easy to carry, and you get it out there, you just fold it out, and if it breaks, I throw it away. I don't care.
Lindsay says that's where I put my phone when I need to check Game Changer quickly. Yes, Lindsay, you were one of us. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about something probably not as important as those bag chairs.
You can't.
But
we had a plan going into that, and that was it.
I have a lot of fun articles that I've saved, and I think I'm going to hit one of those when we come back. Let's see here. I'm just checking the TVs in here and the news headlines. The border is still a problem. Inflation is still an issue. Merrick Garland doesn't know where he is or what he's doing unless he's being told. And the government wants to reach into your home and tell you how to operate. So if you want to vote on today's YouTube live chat poll, those are the options on which issue will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November 2024. Come say hi on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and you can see a video of Joe Biden being a Roomba. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
Looking to save on your grocery bill every time you shop? That's simple. You go to Ruler Foods. They have great deals every day. Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices, but they also have your everyday name brands that you shop for. My family loves to get pasta sauce, produce. We love produce, dairy products, of course, at Ruler Foods when we make our shopping trip there. There are low prices every single day on the brands you love. And like I said, those Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices. Right now, they have 3-pound Kroger apples or navel oranges, $3.49 a bag. Kroger grade A large eggs, 12 count, you get to limit 2, 88 cents each. That's crazy. And normally there's super low prices on eggs. I don't really get to tell you about those, but for whatever reason now I do. 88 cents for a 12 count of eggs. Go into Ruler Foods and see what I've been talking about this whole time. When you go in, you're going to shop a well-organized, clean store that is going to give you all of those things that you normally shop for at a fraction of the cost. My family shops there. A lot of my friends and family now shop there as well. Find them online, the closest one to you, by putting in your zip code at rulerfoods.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-631-5533. That's 1-800-631-5533. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-631-5533. That's 1-800-631-5533.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Hey, football season is finally getting going, and with all the hype and action the season brings, we know things can get really loud and messy quick. So before you invite friends and family over to watch any games, you better call Zero Res to clean up all the fumble moments in your home. They've happened all summer. Let's do something about it. Carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified, so it's time to call the cleaning pros. And by the way, they have great offers for the month of September. Let's talk about your ductwork. You got to do the ductwork. $50 off your air duct cleaning this month. That's going to help alleviate allergies and asthma. You'll enjoy less dust, lower energy bills, and let's face it, your home's going to stay cleaner longer. If you're doing the carpets this month, it is 3 rooms starting at $129. Don't forget, Zero Res are pros. They're not do-it-yourself. You want to do it the right way? Schedule your appointment at ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020. You got to mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk to get the special. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res. Mark Reardon sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Maholtred Ophthalmology Associates. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today. That's youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates. Now is the time to replace your home's exterior during Banner Construction's 30th anniversary with same as cash financing. Beautify the exterior of your home and save with famous James Hardie siding and Pella windows. James Hardie looks and feels like real wood with no maintenance. Call now for special financing. Let Banner Construction's exterior design team give you a free quote. Call 314-569-1050. That's 569-1050 or online, bannerconstruction.com. And have a banner day.
4 issues. We're seeing them all right now. Open borders, inflation, weaponized justice system, government overreach. Which of those do you think will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November of 2024? That is today's Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think. The time right now, 1:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
This is where real local and national accountability happens. This is 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Uptown girl or a downtown guy?
I'd say I'd probably more of a downtown guy just because there's guy in the title. Like the geography doesn't really matter when you have guy-girl because I'd just go with guy.
Brad, is Ryan more of an uptown girl or a downtown guy?
Oh, man. Let me see your fingernails.
Oh, those are nice. Those are real nice.
He is more of an uptown girl.
Since we're on the topic, I have giant fingernails. Do I not?
Put your nails up to the camera.
If you can see them on the
Show
camera.
the ladies
Look at my
home.
thumbnail. And I do need to trim that one a little bit, so I'm not talking about the length of the nail here. But look at how giant within my finger
Do you do a lot of manual labor?
that nail is. It would suggest that I do. Like I'm able to unscrew.
No.
It would suggest that I'm able to unscrew things just with my finger.
Is that why you have lady nails?
Yeah. Keep them long for the work.
Your nails are infinitely better than mine. I have terrible nails.
See that? They're just big. They just take up more space on the finger than the average nail.
Man.
It's a little embarrassing. But I have come to accept it in my old age. And here we are.
Uptown Girl it is. YouTube live chat poll. Which issue will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November 2024? Open borders, inflation, weaponized justice system, or government overreach? I'm not predicating that this is people coming over to the right, but I would assume that the drastic policies, we'll go one by one, the drastic policies of the Biden administration, which when he came into office, he just did the opposite of what Trump did. Did Trump do it? We're not. That's the policy on the border.
So you're leaving the door open that somebody could say, I really, really like the weaponized justice system.
Well,
I'm going to switch from Republican to Democrat.
No, but I mean, yes. January 6th? Are you kidding me? Like, if you think about the way the delusional people who are obsessed, if you breathe the words January 6th and 9/11 in the same sentence, that is, to me, un-American. To suggest that those two entities are even in the same breath. And I believe that from the first day, the people started reacting to January 6th. Yeah. So probably January 7th. The idea that you would compare those two moments in American history in the same breath means you are living a different reality than I am. You can argue that your reality is right and that mine is wrong, but we do not breathe the same oxygen in our worlds that we live in.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great litmus test. If somebody says that, then you go, okay, then we're going to have to start from square one if we're going to have a discussion about basically anything.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to ask them where they get their nails done.
That's fine, too.
I'm going to change the subject. I mean, open borders. Haven't you been in a conversation with people before where they're, for instance, we're looking, there's video playing right now on Fox News in the studio right now. If you have a conversation with somebody about the border situation and their concern about the immigration problem in our country is that the Texas governor put a barrier in the Rio Grande to stop people from coming here that might hurt those people, if that is the thing that they bring up, you can't talk to those people. You're too far apart. I mean, you could talk to them, and I encourage you to talk to them and care about one another as humans in a decent fashion, but you do not live in the same realities. And if somebody's talking to you about how horrific Governor Abbott is by stopping these people in this fashion from coming in, flooding into the country, and that's their angle on it, they're not going to see it the way you are. And if somebody comes in like Ron DeSantis and says, we're going to put the military on and we're going to take these cartels out one by one with military lethal force. Amen. Donald Trump said just the other day, his policy is on day one, he's going to invoke the alien, I got to pull up the specifics here. Here it is. It is called the Alien Enemies Act, meant to be a wartime measure, notably used during World War II. FDR invoked it following the bombing of Pearl Harbor to order the government observation and detention of thousands of Japanese, German, and Italian nationals. This is an NBC News article, so you can see where they're going with that. But he says, if you're 14 or over, day one of the presidency, I'm invoking this, and you are being deported. There's another solution to that. Isn't that going to influence some people to vote for open borders? Because they're grossed out by those policies on the right?
It might, yeah. I mean, if you draw that line, I can see where you're going. But
that is the line.
You're right. I just don't ever, other than maybe I heard Louis C.K., but it might have been a bit too. I don't even know if he was serious. Doing a bit about how he supports open borders. You really don't hear anybody of any political persuasion just saying, yeah, you know what? I support completely open borders.
Louis C.K.'s bit was saying that he supports open borders and people coming here because we should have to suffer the same way people in third world countries have to suffer. And I saw that headline and I saw that story, and I don't know if he was serious or not, but I don't take Louis C.K. very seriously because he's a comedian. But I mean, it still makes you think. I'm pretty sure he's the one who opened, I think it was a Netflix special. I think it was Louis C.K. A lot of I thinks here. But factually, it doesn't matter who said it when. The point was made that abortion is either, you have to look at abortion as an issue that people so dramatically, again, where you live in separate realities, where people on one side of the aisle believe that you're murdering babies. The pro-life side of that issue believes that an abortion ending the capital L life of another human is a murder of a baby. That's what one side thinks. Louis C.K. is taking himself in the center here and observing and saying, these people think that it's baby murder. And on the other side, they are people who think it is a simple bodily function. And he says it in very crude language, but the idea of passing the tissue of a fetus would be the same thing as defecating. So if you are on the side of this is baby murder, and you're looking across the aisle and trying to be like, how do these people do this? How are they okay with this? You have to understand that they don't think the way you think. What they think is just a passing of tissue, and it's a natural human bodily function. And when you understand that that's the way they think on the issue, you can either A, articulate your side of the issue better because you're not trying to convince them that it's wrong. First, you have to agree on what it actually is, or agree to disagree. But his point in the stand-up is that if you are on the side that believes that it is the same as defecation, to pass tissue through your system, out of your system, if you were to then become aware that the other side believes that it's baby murder, you got to kind of wonder if they're lining up on the sidewalks of the streets, holding hands silently, why they aren't angrier about it. And I think that is a brilliant point. And it's just like what we're talking about here with all of these issues, we see things so incredibly differently. And if you can't agree on the foundation of what the actual problem is, you'll never agree on a solution. Do you have one of these that you think is the most obvious? Which issue will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November of 2024? Open borders, inflation, a weaponized justice system, or government overreach?
I do. It's inflation, but man, is open borders giving it a run for its money in the last month or two. I would have not thought that would have as much impact outside of the southern states that are on the border, but it really is. I still, though, think inflation is the one that affects everybody, so that's got to be the one.
What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, I'm with Ryan there. I think inflation is my number one, and open borders is my 1A. I feel like inflation is still what is hurting people. Now, the only thing that might hurt that is that it's becoming so people are getting used to it. Like, it still hurts, and they're like, man, this sucks. This is not good. But it's been that way for so long that they're now just kind of acclimating to it and getting used to it. The whole open borders thing, when you have the governor of New York talking about needing to secure the southern border, you know that it's starting to hit home, because she is not some sort of right-wing lunatic. She is as left as they come.
I think inflation is the most obvious one, but I think that what people might be sleeping on here, the open borders thing, I don't know how much of an effect it's going to have on the presidential election, because I really think the presidential election is going to be decided in about 5 states, maybe 4. But the open borders issue, you look at some of those congressional seats that New York picked up for Republicans, these open border issues will affect Congress, in my opinion, much more than it will affect the presidential election, and it will dramatically affect, should a Republican get in office, the ability for that Republican to get stuff done should they take the House and the Senate. All right, let's take a quick break, some fun on the Annie Frey Show when we come back.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published taxpayer bill of rights which says you have the right to retain legal representation because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Landstory Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Landstory Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Landstory Law Firm, 314-238-7360.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Shopping for windows, and once you decide to make that commitment and go, yeah, okay, we need to replace these windows, I want you to consider Window World before you make your final choice as to where to make that purchase. Whether you're replacing one window or you're replacing the whole house of windows, Window World is there to be simply the best for less. You can call them at 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800 and request a free in-home estimate so you can know exactly what you're getting yourself into. They offer 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. They provide you a very good quality, great quality product in those windows that they're going to use to replace the old, cracked, no longer insulated windows in your home, the one that are fogging up with the moisture inside, and they're not doing the job of a window as it should in your house. They're going to give you that quality lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor with a great, great price. Call them at 314-993-1800. Go online to windowworld.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Frey, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. Tuesday, October 3rd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you'll be able to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Do you worry about losing your nest egg in the next big market correction? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses and provide more income than most investment options? Would you like to know why linking to the market is so much safer than owning the market? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this last event of the year.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, October 3rd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The White House points a finger at Congress. Elisa Brady, Fox News, as thousands of migrants cross illegally for a third day in Eagle Pass, Texas.
The president has done everything and is going to continue to do what he can without the help of some Republicans in Congress to deal with this issue.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says they're working to implement a humane and orderly border strategy. Republicans say the administration is incentivizing more people to come by releasing thousands with future court dates and with the newly announced temporary protected status for nearly 500,000 Venezuelans. Democratic mayors and governors have urged that step to allow more immigrants to start working and ease the burden on local budgets. The House tries and fails again to advance a defense bill with a handful of Republican holdouts who oppose work on a short-term spending measure to avoid a government shutdown.
If they don't want to even vote to allow us to bring the bills up, how does anybody complain you haven't brought all the bills up? I mean, it's frustrating.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy thought there was a breakthrough in a lengthy caucus meeting yesterday that would get the defense bill over a procedural hurdle today. In the meantime, President Biden announcing more military aid to Ukraine as the country's president visits Washington.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with congressional leaders before a White House visit as lawmakers on Capitol Hill debate future funding for Ukraine's war effort.
There is a vocal, quite small minority of members who are raising questions. There is a very strong, overwhelming majority of members, both Democrats and Republicans, who want to see aid continue, and I believe that's where the American people are as well.
White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan believes there will be bipartisan support for a request from President Biden for $24 billion in additional Ukraine aid to run through the end of the year.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. America is listening to Fox News.
Paid for by government.com. Have you heard? Morgan's silver dollars are back for 2023. For the 100th anniversary, the U.S. Mint released the first legal tender Morgans in 100 years. They sold out instantly. Now, Morgan's silver dollars are back in 2023, minted in 99.9% pure silver, but only 275,000 coins were minted, and they will go fast. The entire market and experts agree this is a big deal and an amazing opportunity for both coin and silver buyers. Just call 1-800-859-1518 and you are guaranteed a 2023 brand new uncirculated 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. But with limited quantities, you must call now. To learn more, call 1-800-859-1518. Plus, you'll receive a free bonus Patriots pack, new and improved, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-859-1518 now to secure your new 2023 Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-859-1518.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We have a mix of clouds and sunshine on this Thursday afternoon. Showers pretty hard to find, a little bit of a break. 82, though, for the high, above average. Tonight, clouds, a couple of more scattered showers move in later on. 62 Friday, partly sunny. A lot of dry time, but a couple of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder possible Friday. And 82. Fall officially begins early morning on Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan is there to help you find the house and make it your home. If you have been thinking about making a purchase, if you've been shopping, you've been watching the market, and you know how competitive it is right now, you want Stewie in your corner, and it's very simple to do. 314-324-4440. You can text him right now and start the conversation. You're not committed to anything. Just say, I heard Annie talking about the Bagel Loan, would like to know more. 314-324-4440. A lot of times you'll have a realtor who is helping you, a great realtor who's guiding you through the process. And when it comes time to get your mortgage, you don't know who to go to, so you go with whomever they recommend. You know, a lot of people do that. That's fine. I'm recommending that you get a second opinion with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, because when you use the Bagel Loan with Stewie, you pay nothing in fees that other lenders out there will charge you for. No closing costs. That's money directly back in your pocket. 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie and ask him about the Bagel Loan. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
At a time when you need it most, Diamonds Direct is doing something that seems impossible. They're rolling back finance rates to 0%. You heard it right. Now through October 1st, you can get 0.0 for 5 years. So that $10,000 engagement ring is around $167 a month. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, make any purchase, divide the price by 60, and that's your payment. No interest for 5 years. It's the only time this year you can do this. Get details, showroom hours, and more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. On approved credit.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family. Available at Walgreens and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Use your vehicle less in September. Walk or bike to close destinations and enjoy more time outdoors. When we each share a one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Connect with the personalities and give your feedback. 97.1 FM Talk is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For content that's additional to the radio, join us there. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
My message to the CEOs is, at $74 million, collectively earning that, how many yachts can they need, to water ski behind it? It's just crazy. I don't know.
I don't know that I do know, for as much as he asked if you know. Are we not supposed to play Fetterman clips? Because if I play that, if I simply play Senator Fetterman's voice on the Annie Frey Show, and he's speaking in a way that is not always coherent to the person who's listening because he's had strokes. He had them before Pennsylvania sent him there. So it's not like he went into office and then had this medical condition and then it's a tragedy in the sense that
it didn't come afterwards.
He went there and then the situation changed. Pennsylvania said, we know, we got it. Go be the senator. So it's part of the conversation.
Yeah, it really is amazing that you can play that clip and then wonder, are people going to criticize me for being insensitive? Even if you say nothing about it, you're just playing him talking.
So then the alternative to that is you don't play it and people don't hear it.
That is the alternative.
So I chose the first.
I think that was a good choice because I think it's important to hear what the United States senators have to say about important policies like boats.
So, but seriously though, Fetterman's point here, I surmise.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Is that he's sending a message to the CEO. If you make 74, how much is enough? 74 million, is that enough? I don't know where the 74 million comes from, but I'm sure that comes from something specific, maybe in a larger context to the quote that was pulled. If you're making that much and you've got how many yachts do you need to ski behind? The answer in America is as many as you can afford if you want to. Fetterman, Senator Fetterman, doesn't get to put a cap on prosperity in the United States.
Well, and then the other foolish side of that is do you know who's building the yachts? Do you know who's, whenever a billionaire buys a yacht, they're creating jobs. People are working to buy it. Whenever anybody purchases anything, they're creating jobs because somebody has to produce that sort of thing. So why are we mad at them for making lots of money?
Well, no, but that's not even the point. That's not my point. That is a point and a valid point. But my point, when you listen to it, I'm going to play it again. When you listen to what he's saying, it's such cheap bait. Because there are people out there who don't have multiple yachts to ski behind. Fetterman is making Senator Fetterman, I'm trying to say Senator Fetterman is trying to say things to score cheap points because that's all he's needed to get where he is right now. This guy gets the rules changed only for the senators in the Senate. His staffers still have to dress in an appropriate business fashion, literally. But because he wants to wear hoodies and gym shorts into the Senate, they've loosened the rules for everybody. They are trying to make him some blue-collar, working-class hero. He is not that guy. He's not the guy who has had dirt under his fingernails and bootstraps that he's pulled up and a blue-collar job that he lived in his parents' basement as a politician. He isn't that guy. He is some sort of manufactured politician that is once again inserted into our understanding of how things are now, to upset the entire apple cart so that when you put all the apples back into the cart, you leave a few out. You can't do that unless you ram the thing and spill the apples everywhere and are forced to reorganize and put everything back in that you accept. And we're supposed to look at Senator Fetterman and we're supposed to relate to him on this super cheap level. And I'm going to play this clip for you again, and we'll see if we translate anything else out of what he says there other than what we've already pointed out. But he's supposed to be some sort of relatable, one of us type of guys, and this guy isn't. It's all a lie.
That's my message to the CEOs.
Let me refresh that. I don't know why I did that. It's so frustrating to feel, to know that we're being so played by some kind of machine that's like, this will get them. This is how we.
My message to the CEOs is, it's $74 million, collectively earning that. How many yachts can they need, to water ski behind it? It's just crazy. I don't.
Again, surmising his point is that the wealthy are too wealthy and they're not sharing their wealth. I actually think that is not a bad point to make. You guys may disagree with me. I like that point. I don't like it coming from government. The point that when you criticize the ultra rich in a negotiation, because it's a negotiation tactic, especially right now when you have this negotiation between the UAW and the owners of the companies. When you have that happening, I am fine with literally anybody saying, hey, they need to buck up, they need to pay their workers better, whatever it is, and criticizing, you got it pretty good, you should pay your workers better. That's a fine criticism. You can disagree with it. It's just part of the negotiation when you have something like this going on. What I don't like is when you have the government stepping in, and I don't know whether he's saying this is what should happen, the government stepping into these situations and saying, well, we need to handle this, the government should be big daddy here and should get involved, because that's what it sounds like he's saying. I can't quite understand what he's saying, but when you step in as the government, that's when I have a problem with that line of reasoning. That's when anybody would have
a problem with it. Like, that's the whole point. The difference between the UAW bargaining with the people who collect the majority of the money, like you said, in any negotiation, I've got a contract coming up. I'll have the same negotiations on a much smaller scale with my employer, where you're saying, this is what I think I deserve. And they say, well, that's wonderful. This is what we think you're worth. And then you figure out something in between. You can't not have that conversation. But the overarching leftist idea of the man in the hoodie who goes to work where it is a I think it's a sacred place to be on the Senate floor, to consider what has happened in this country over time. That place belongs to the people. That is our place. And you have a guy like John Fetterman, whose message is supposed to go out there and be about the proverbial little guy, and you're going to change the whole world around him. He's a walking example of how the new norm, which we don't recognize right now, and which this country can't continue to function in the Fetterman way of doing things, where all of these modifications are made for one particular person, because eventually that modification is going to butt up to somebody else's modification. The idea that you have standards doesn't mean that there aren't exceptions. But then again, the idea of being exceptional in the United States anymore is in and of itself offensive to these people. If you have exceptional success, I know that Senator Fetterman has been dubbed the guy to go be the face of this auto workers thing. There's a reason for that. They've manufactured this character from Senator Fetterman. I was just thinking about somebody, I think it was Lee Zeldin maybe today on Fox News, was talking about how the hoodie and the shorts, that's his brand. And I was thinking how kind of repulsive it is that everybody has a brand now because of social media. Everybody can have a thing and a brand. And it's not like some people should have it and some people shouldn't. But the idea that everybody has a brand, it elevates our own self-absorbed importance. And we are publicly asking for everyone's attention to be on ourselves so that we can dictate how everyone should treat everyone else. That doesn't even make sense because nobody actually cares about the actual outcome. They just want to be the one on stage saying it. And Fetterman is that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Fetterman and Biden, I think, are both examples. People would like to throw McConnell in that category, although his problems have come after his election, so it is a little
he's
different.
300 years old.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean, the comparison's fine, but these guys are an example of electing not really a person who's thinking, this is my policy. You're electing basically a machine. You're just electing a figurehead that represents an already existing machine. And Biden and Fetterman are the best examples of that. It's not that they're the only ones. Hopefully, most of these senators, politicians in general, do have independent thought, and it's not just people behind the scenes pulling strings. But they are so exemplary of that. It's incredible to watch.
It's not mean to say that John Fetterman should not be in the Senate.
No, that guy's sick.
He should not be in the Senate.
No, he's a mess. I mean, it seems like your heart goes out to him when he speaks because you're like, this is problematic, man. Like you're being puppeted up to this level.
Used.
You're being used. Exactly. That's the word I'm looking for. It's exactly right.
Mitch McConnell shouldn't be in the Senate.
Nope.
Joe Biden shouldn't be the president. But in this country, the American people get the opportunity to vote, and they chose them. That's the question that I have is why choose those people? Because the Fetterman example is the biggest head scratcher to me because in Kentucky, Mitch McConnell is not going to lose. How much money was spent on the Mitch McConnell race? It was like the biggest, most expensive race ever.
It was a lot, yeah.
And Mitch McConnell won by double digits or something crazy. Another polls. This is, Mitch McConnell's in trouble in Kentucky, and if they can get Mitch McConnell, think about blah, 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 blah. No, he dominated. Of course he did. It's not about term limits. It's not about age limits. It's about money. It's about the money that props up the established institutions that cannot be defeated by somebody else who wants to come in and upset that apple cart and say, no, I think we need to do things a little bit differently. You have to be permitted by who is established to be able to come in and make that change. Donald Trump was not permitted. And again, like the orange Kool-Aid man, he busted through the door, left a Donald Trump shape in the walls of hearts all across America, and it's imprinted upon them. In some cases, it made people's hearts bigger. In some people, it scarred them. But he's the one guy who's been able to go in and go through it. It's not about going up and over it. You have to go through it. And Donald Trump did that. I don't know that he can do it again. I don't know if every system, every alarm bell, every tripwire is up against Donald Trump. I mean, he's going to have to leave a bigger imprint this time when he busts through the whole thing. If he does, it's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild adventure to cover, though.
2024, man. Will it be like 2020? I sure hope not.
Did you just call me man?
Yeah, I did.
We talked about this.
I'm sorry. Well, you did call me an uptown girl.
No, I didn't.
Brad did.
That was me, yeah.
And I disagreed with him.
yeah, you weren't protesting.
411 days until the election. And I know that makes some people nervous. So instead, I'll just tell you that there's only 95 days till Christmas. We'll be back with Annie, Are You Okay? And I am okay with that. I'm very excited. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. La
Keep going.
la la. We'll be right back.
Left its scenes while I was
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
Air Comfort Service, as fall sets in, is ready to make sure that you keep your home warm. Kind of weird to say that, but it's going to happen faster than you know it. If you think that your furnace is not heating your home the way it's supposed to be, or if you feel like, we had it checked and everything checked out, but why is it running so much? Maybe you might need to check the insulation in your home. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated, and Air Comfort Service is there to help you with both of those issues. A furnace that's maybe not operating the way it should or pushing the warm air the way it's supposed to, or a home that is under insulated and allowing that heated air to escape before it gives you the opportunity to be in your comfort zone. When homes are under insulated, your HVAC system has to work harder than it needs to, and the harder your HVAC system has to work, the higher your energy costs are going to be. And who can afford that these days? Air Comfort Service is there to assess the situation for you and to make sure that you are in your comfort zone without having to pay all of that extra money and energy cost to get you there. Call 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Let them know what your issues are that you're facing, and they're going to help you out. They've helped me out in my house many times. They will do the same for you. Find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Football is back, and so is Cash the Ticket. Jim Costa with Mike Valeni every week this fall. That's picks, parlays, and that's sweet, sweet value, Cactus included, on all the NFL and college football matchups. Full breakdowns on the biggest games, but if you have a life, you don't have 45 minutes to spare, we've got you. We're the most on-demand podcast. We're catered to you and the teams you love. That's Cash the Ticket. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
In this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to 20% on a new HVAC system when you bundle it with attic insulation. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere.
Where St. Louis comes to talk.
97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Was it about a pimp?
No. It's about a man who plays a rubber band with his toes.
That was my second guess.
I mean, he might do that too. Listen. Rubber band, band.
I don't hear anything about the toes.
Starts to jam. We'll get to the lyrics here in a little bit. But meanwhile, our friend Trish is in the studio.
Hi,
and
everybody.
very excited to have her in here for a little Thursday. Annie, are you okay? I feel like this crept up on me this week.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Speaking of unexpected, a Michigan woman gets trapped after falling into an outhouse toilet.
That was unexpected.
For this woman. This woman who dropped her Apple Watch into an outhouse toilet found herself trapped after she fell in trying to retrieve it. This happened at a place called the Dixon Lake Boat Launch. After she lost the watch, she willingly lowered herself into the outhouse and promptly became stuck. Passerbyers heard her screaming for help and called 911.
They didn't help her?
So they walk by
Did you guys hear the presidential march playing?
No.
Did I listen? No?
No.
No.
You're so patriotic that just runs through your head.
I can't go to sleep. Why? Hail to the Chiefs playing in my brain.
You guys hear the Star Spangled Banner?
I don't. There was an
burnt
outhouse, and
A woman dropped her Apple Watch in an outhouse toilet.
It's gone
then,
forever.
No. She jumped in to get it and got stuck and then started screaming, and people heard her and called 911. And authorities had to pull her out.
Did she lower herself in head first, like she was going to try to reach it?
That would,
or did she go in like she was
like,
Mission Impossible?
This is a bad situation,
That
but it's
Apple
worse
Watch
if you
is
go.
gone.
It's
gone.
I believe she went in head first. Is how I picture
no.
it.
That's how I would
didn't
picture
see
it, too.
I didn't actually. That's a great question. I don't know what she'd do if she went in feet first, though. Like
Slowly
dug down.
too, like where you're
Feeling
leaning
around
over,
with your toes.
and you just when you get past that balance, and then you just slide, and you know you're past the point of no returns.
Oh, yeah. Because you're falling in face first
Yeah,
No.
slow motion.
into all the poop and pee.
No.
Even clean outhouses are really.
No.
But you said this was at a boat ramp.
It was at a boat.
Oh,
Yeah, off of a
I
lake.
can't. That's not much worse
That-
of a
yeah,
place
that
you
Was
can
she
go.
drunk?
That was-
Was she high? Was she sober?
It didn't say. I hope for her sake, all of the above. I hope she was drunk and high before she went in.
I would die. I would be dead.
Mhm.
I would die. I might die thinking about
Yeah,
it.
why don't you just step out for a second and say, "Hey, off limits, everybody. I need to go get a coat hanger."
Yeah.
Whatever, like the solution isn't. I'm just gonna like stick my head in it.
Anybody got any tongs? Is the right
Wait
question.
a
Yeah.
second. Wait a second.
She's at a
I'm
boat.
not an Apple user. Is that Apple Watch going to work?
Yeah.
It is.
Maybe that's how she called 911.
Then you pay. How much does an Apple Watch cost?
I don't know, more than I'm willing to pay.
Anywhere from
$500?
Anywhere from 150, the older ones, to 500, $600. Yeah.
So, but to buy a brand new one, you got to think the ceiling on how much you'd be willing to get this thing back. The ceiling is $600.
Mm-hmm.
But at $600, you're getting a brand new one.
Mm-hmm.
And because Apple is like this, you're going to have you're going to go beep boop, and the Apple Watch, the new Apple Watch, is going to have all your stuff.
Yeah.
So the ceiling isn't $600. Now you're just asking yourself, how much is it worth to not have poop all over me? And that is thousands and millions of dollars.
All of the marbles. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not $600. Like if the over under on what would you take to go
Covered in
into that outhouse toilet?
Yeah, like your drunk bachelor party, like, man, I'll give you $500 to jump in that outhouse.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Show me that
not.
money before I do it, though. I don't believe you. I need to see the cash.
$600. $600. Go do it, Ryan. Are you jumping in?
$600? Do I have to go into the poop, or can I just put my head in there for a minute?
$600 and an Apple Watch.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
The question is, Annie, are you okay with bobbing for Apple Watches in an outhouse?
Oh, barf,
Ooh,
barf.
I
Bad
like that.
joke.
I like that.
No.
You're in charge of hitting the thing.
No.
You should just hit it right then.
No. You did Jerry Seinfeld again. You went into Jerry.
That's what I do at times.
So Brad's right. That was the question. And take it you're not okay with.
No. I mean,
that
like,
Apple Watch back.
I'm trying to think of times where I've had to go to the bath. I mean, when there's an outhouse, if I have to go to the bathroom and there's a porta potty, I'm really considering would I rather pee in my pants.
Or find like
a bush.
secluded
That's a legit
spot.
concern.
Yeah.
No, I mean
I'm
like
with you.
I am really thinking these are things that are on the table for me to choose before I go into that place.
Real talk, real question here. You dropped
Just us.
Yeah, just us now. Just us in the campfire, a couple of Zimas. Now you've dropped your Apple Watch into the toilet already. Like before you even sat down, it
I'm
happened.
saying so many loud
Right
bad
there.
words.
You've already said,
Loud.
okay, forget it. The Apple Watch is gone.
Yeah.
Do you then take a dump on it?
Stop it.
Wait, can you just do that on command?
Well, if you're already there to take a dump, I think it wouldn't be that hard.
ladies use porta potties for multiple things because we can't just whip it out and go wherever we want to, like men do on golf courses.
Yeah, I've actually literally never done what you're talking about in a porta potty.
I can't imagine.
Really? Yeah, it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing you're doing in a porta potty is enjoyable.
Nothing about this story is
Yeah,
pleasant.
you're not joining the Mile High Club in there.
Oh.
I'm leaving. I'm sick again.
I don't know. I don't think you know what the Mile High Club is.
Are you sure? If I handed my camera to you and say, "Can you take a selfie of me?" Would that be okay?
Trisha, I need a replacement for the show. And tomorrow and next week.
Do you want me to just replace Ryan? That seems easier.
Yeah.
You want to go join the Mile High Club in that porta potty right there at Lollapalooza?
You have to stop asking people that. It doesn't mean what you think it does.
You're going to call from HR, Ryan.
Please stop asking your colleagues if they want to join the Mile High Club.
Somebody off air explain to me what it means. 'Cause clearly, I don't know.
Oh,
I thought it
boy.
was just taking a double dump.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna
Do
say
people go in the
I'm gonna
bathroom? What
say
else are they
bad
doing?
words.
I don't understand.
It is hot in here, Brad.
It is.
I've
I'm
been
feeling
asking
it
him
now.
the whole day. Is it warm in here? And he goes, "You keep asking." I'm like, "Well, I keep thinking it's warm in here." It's getting all hot and clammy, and I'm gonna vomit on you. Oh.
That's why Mark Reardon looked at me so weird when I asked him.
All right, I'm going to keep this moving.
Yes,
okay.
All right, Amazon turning devices into a more conversational chatbot for your home.
No.
Right. Yep.
That was a fast one.
Basically, think the SVP of Amazon said that they're going to put large language models in the new devices. Basically, think GPT that like learns how to talk to you better.
Bad.
Large language
Put
models.
it in the porta potty with the Apple Watch.
As opposed to
Terrible
So they
idea.
use big
models.
words.
Huge words and a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are
I
you okay with
noticed you
these
right there. You
devices
used
learning to better
onomatopoeia.
communicate?
Now would be a great time to switch subjects to, speaking of porta potties, the White House is saluting with the Ukraine flag, the United States flag, Zelensky as he arrives. Anyway, back to the crappy stories.
Okay, so we're not cool with our devices getting smarter.
I don't want any of that. I don't have any of that stuff. The closest I have to any of those devices is I have a Ring doorbell and cameras around my house. That's about it. I don't want anything I can talk to that's like just listening in case. I have my lady or whatever it is on my Bixby. What even is that on Android phone? That's off. No, don't listen to me talk. I'm not talking to you.
I had an Apple Watch, but it joined the Mile High Club.
Bears raid Krispy Kreme van.
Wait a second. Is Zelensky wearing fatigues? Because I'm sick of this crap.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like dress fatigues.
That is olive drab.
That's what you wear when you want to look like you're fighting, but you're really not.
Right. Yeah, you just got out of your limo, but you were at a fight.
Why is Biden wearing fatigues? Just kidding.
I've been watching the wrong TV this whole time. I've just been watching this drug commercial up here, wondering what in the world
are we talking about?
He's wearing pants and shirt, matching army green pants and shirt, and his pants are like cargo pants.
It's a look.
He's got things to do. You think he's got a wrench in those pockets?
I need to start doing that. You know what? I bet
Maybe you
$100
should
billion
start getting your
would buy you a
fingers-
pretty nice wardrobe, though.
Fingernails dirty.
Yeah, get in there. Get in the
Trisha,
fight.
look at Ryan's fingernails. What do you think about those? Does he look like an uptown girl or a downtown guy?
He's always somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nicest thing anyone said about that so far.
What a compliment. She called me androgynous.
You're moving in the right direction.
Very nice. Androgynous suburb guy.
Anywho. Is there a question?
There's a story
Okay.
first.
I forgot where we were.
A black bear and her cub were caught on camera raiding a Krispy Kreme van during a delivery to a military base in Anchorage, Alaska. The delivery driver had left the van door open, giving bears an opportunity to slam a bunch of donut holes before the base set off loud sirens to scare them away. Annie, are you okay with sharing donut holes with bears?
Did you see the bear that made it into Magic Kingdom?
That's my next story.
Oh, sorry.
There's more bear news.
In bear news.
This is a very bear heavy.
I was in Tennessee. My brother-in-law was getting married. It was like a COVID relocation. Fine, we'll just go to the mountains and do it because Pritzker was being a Pritzker about keeping things closed. And we pulled in to the mountains to our cabin. Beautiful place. And there was a mama bear, and I think 3 cubs. And it's obvious that there are humans at these cabins that have food that they can access, and they just casually stroll around. And this mama bear, was standing up on the Chrysler Pacifica, looking in. And I'm like, I was in the kitchen, I was going, get off my van! But from inside, because I didn't want to, accost the bear because I saw them pause. But they just, if they're used to being around humans, they just do what they want because they're bears. So if you have a door open full of Krispy Kremes, that's just going to happen.
Bear just want a bunch of donut holes.
Yeah, that sucks.
These travelers need to run out there with a fly swatter every now and then. Get out of here.
I mean, I'm team bear. I just didn't know how you guys felt about it.
I'm team human.
I'm team donut hole.
You could do the next story.
Okay, another bear was captured at the Magic Kingdom.
What? Crazy. This is crazy. People were posting on the Facebook groups that I'm in. They're like, what is going on at Magic Kingdom? Because the entire left half of Magic Kingdom was closed.
Yep, that's earlier this week at the Magic Kingdom in Florida. The adult female bear was spotted in a tree, causing several areas of the park to be shut down. The bear was eventually captured and was taken to a forest northwest of Orlando. So they took the bear to the farm. No, I think they really did relocate.
Well, they took a bear to the farm and videoed a bear getting out of a cage. That's what I'm saying here. I don't know. I don't have any inside information, but I'm like, sure.
Took it to the glue factory.
They just took that
Nobody
bear
says
on a
that.
little ride.
Happy farm upstate.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Upstate
took it up
Florida.
to Jacksonville.
Annie, are you okay with bears hanging out at the Magic Kingdom?
Attendance has been down, so if it helps the stock. I don't think it helps the stock.
I mean, it's
something that keeps attendance down more.
Yeah, I got to look at what the stock is.
Keeps line shorter.
2 weeks from now, we're going to find out that somebody's in Country Bear Jamboree and they didn't actually catch the bear. It had been hiding. And it just jumps out.
He's got the hat on.
It knows that they're eating donut holes.
Yeah.
Knows how to slowly rise up out of the floor with the banjo. I think I got this now.
Wait, that's a real bear holding that banjo.
Well, damn.
Wonder what joke they're going to tell about me on Jungle Cruise this time.
I hate how angry people get that their vacation was that they closed down parks.
I love it.
Because there was a bear.
Yeah, I love it.
I cannot
How
imagine.
much you pay to go in there and then half the park shut down because of a bear?
Well, I get it, but it's a bear. It's not like there was a
Stray
code
cat
V
running
vomit
around.
or something.
Disney really dropped the ball on this one.
Yeah, I mean, there are alligators all over the place when you are in Disney World. I mean, they are there. There are tragic stories about that. But, I mean, people were getting, super bent out of shape. It's like, I don't know what you really want them to do. Leave it open? Just kind of like Survivor, Magic Kingdom?
Build the wall.
Yeah.
Build the wall.
Right around Liberty Square.
Just have a princess go over and sing by it.
We gotta go.
That was a good segment, Trisha. Good job.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. This has been
Yeah,
really
yeah.
great.
Thanks for having us. I mean, seriously. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
When I saw this short fat guy stretch a band between his toes, hey, I laughed so hard 'cause the band got down when it finally reached his nose.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Man, you're bound to lose control when the rubber band starts to jam. Got that rubber band up on his toe.
So FoleyDentalGroup.com is the website you can go to learn about my dentist at Foley Dental Group. If you are looking for a dentist that is accepting new patients, a whole family of patients, the Frey family goes to Foley Dental Group, and they are accepting new patients right now. You can call them at 618-288-9670. That's 618-288-9670. They have a beautiful brand new facility with the top technology you need to get to the bottom of the issues that you're experiencing, whether it is a sleep issue, a breathing issue while you're asleep, if you are looking to get Invisalign because you want, of course, the straightened teeth and the beautiful smile, but all of the other health benefits that come from using Invisalign and aligning your bite. It is a whole mouth health situation with Invisalign that they can help you with. Or if you have missing teeth and you are, maybe you've got one cracked or you've got one that needs to be replaced, they help you with everything, and they walk you through what they're doing and why they're doing it that way with the best technology in the business. It's a beautiful location right there at 159 and 270 in Illinois. They are accepting new patients. Call 618-288-9670. That's 618-288-9670, online at FoleyDentalGroup.com.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Paid for by Primary Care Plus, a part of Oak Street Health.
If you live in St. Louis and have Medicare, this important message is for you. There is now high-quality complete health care available right in your neighborhood that specializes in top-quality care for older adults on Medicare at no extra cost to you. Don't wait until a new health problem gets serious. They are accepting new patients right now. The doctors take the time to get to know you, understand your personal health issues, and answer all your health questions. Plus, there's same-day appointments, on-site lab work, and a 24/7 live patient support line. And if you're on Medicare, there's no extra cost for you. Just call 800-817-8435 right now.
If I hadn't called and set that appointment, I don't know what my health would be like today. They got out in front of it and kept me out of the hospital. I can tell you that.
This outstanding care for older adults on Medicare is available at Oak Street Health, and they are accepting new patients now. Call 800-817-8435 now. It's fast and easy. And if you're on Medicare, there's no extra cost for you. Don't wait. Call 800-817-8435 right now. That's 800-817-8435. 800-817-8435.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Which issue will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November of 2024? Is it open borders, inflation, weaponized justice system, or government overreach? That is the subject of the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. We'll give you the results here in just a minute or two. The time right now, 2:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Jim Talent is with us.
It's very clear that the Justice Department is doing everything it can not to investigate this case. Either they have or they're concerned about evidence of the president's involvement.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I hold on so nervously to me and my she was cool and
So I was laying in bed yesterday. I literally didn't get out of bed yesterday until 2 p.m. You ever done that?
It's been a while. Even when I had COVID a couple weeks ago, I still could only sleep till about 9, and I'd have to get up and do something.
I slept a lot, but you wake up and you kind of see what time it is. You decide, do I want to get up? And there was nobody at home, and I don't know if you can understand. You maybe, I don't know, because you got kids, but the amount of time that I have more than 30 minutes alone to myself, where I get to like sit still and be I don't even know what to do with myself. Like I almost just want to sit and observe that I'm sitting, like I just be like super meta and in the
Watch
moment.
yourself in a mirror.
Yeah. That didn't happen. But I was laying there and I'd pop the internet open or Twitter or something and I'd read kind of goofier articles than I would normally. And I came across this one and I thought this would be a good one for you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. You ready?
I am.
12 signs you're an actual genius.
Oh, I had probably already read this.
And not just smart.
He wrote the book on it.
We geniuses read these articles all the time.
What was your conclusion?
I am.
Okay. Do we need to go through the article or are we
No,
good?
we're fine.
Okay.
Let's go to the YouTube live chat results.
Number 1, you're a perpetual daydreamer. Anybody in here a perpetual daydreamer?
Oh.
Yeah, kind of.
Everybody is now that we know that.
Is that an indication that you are a genius or that you aren't?
12 signs that you're an actual genius and not just smart.
Yeah, I do that then.
I'm such a genius that I would have guessed that both Brad and Ryan would have been like me. I do it all the time. I bet they do the next one too.
I'm so glad Trisha stayed.
Thanks, Trisha.
I'm just gonna ask questions and let Trisha do my part. Number 2, you love to read.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, Brad's out.
Do you think?
Good for you, Brad.
When you hear, well, I guess I could read here. It says you love to read. Ever since you were little, you're always the one with your nose stuck in a book. Reading not only provides an escape, it also feeds your insatiable curiosity about the world.
Yeah, that is me.
Ryan's got a little tear.
This love for learning new things, experiencing different perspectives, and exploring unfamiliar worlds through words can be a sign of a genius mind.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful mind is what we call it.
Geniuses crave knowledge, and reading is one of the best ways to satisfy that craving. So if your ideal Friday night involves curling up with a good book, you might just be in genius territory.
Yeah. I like watching TV a lot too, though.
That actually sounds repulsive.
When people talk about
good for you,
being a reader,
it's dumb.
What qualifies as what is being read?
A book. You got to read a book.
Stop saying it like that.
You gotta read
Why are you showing me your nails while you say that?
I'm not. I'm just shaking my shoulders in that way, in that uptown girl kind of way. You got to read a book.
Can't afford to buy her pearls.
It can be a virtual book, but I prefer a book.
If you're gonna, because I read a ton, but articles, and I read a ton of articles about all sorts of crazy different things, especially when I feel like I'm having fever dreams. I never had a fever. But also, I'll do audiobooks, but I just don't have enough time to commit in long form to something like that. It's not realistic. I just said that I sat yesterday in my room still for a second going, there's nobody here. What do I do? And I was like, I think I just sit. I just sit.
I don't have enough time to be well-read is something a non-genius would say, just FYI.
You're the worst. Number 3, you're a night owl. Ryan leaves because his bedtime arrives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a night owl or a morning owl.
Nobody's a morning owl.
I sleep a lot.
Brief window in the middle of the day owl.
Yeah, where I'm productive.
Like
during,
10 to 2, 10 to 4 on a
we call
good
that
day.
owl time, and then everything else is sleep time.
I'm a bit of a night owl.
I am a night owl.
I am not.
Number 4, you question everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I question everything
just the
all the
default?
time. I mean, I'm going to say yes to all these regardless because I know it paints me as a genius.
As a potential genius, you probably have a natural curiosity that leads you to question everything around you. You're never satisfied with just accepting things at face value and always want to dig deeper to understand the why and how. This trait is common among geniuses. They're always challenging the status quo and seeking answers.
Yeah, that's me. I question everything all the time. I'm always listening to the Sex Pistols, like down with the Queen,
I can't even carry this conversation. I don't even care where that puts me on the genius spectrum. Number 5, you feel deeply.
Yes, to answer your next question, I do that one. I do.
You do.
I dropped
Yeah,
my
you
Apple
do.
Watch in it.
If your emotions run deep and you have a heightened sensitivity to the world around you, you're not alone.
Oh my gosh. It's like looking into a word mirror every time you speak.
The heck is a word mirror?
You guys would know if you read more.
We don't know. We don't understand it.
It's still 4 minutes.
Number 6, you enjoy solitude.
Yeah, that's probably me.
Don't you prefer to be around people?
I mean, depending on the situation, if there's a Genius article about being around people, I'll do that. But right now, I would say I lean towards solitude.
You're an extrovert, aren't you?
No, I'm not, actually. I'm an introvert. I'm an extroverted introvert. I could really swing both ways, you could say.
Sure does. Look at those nails.
Yeah.
Number 7, you're not always organized.
Oh, that's me.
No, that's not me.
If you walked into my room right now, you'd probably wonder how I find anything. My desk is a sea of papers, books, and coffee mugs, each item a testament to the chaos of my creative process. But here's the thing. This messiness isn't a flaw. It's potentially a sign of a genius.
Okay, that's me.
Many geniuses are known to thrive in clutter as it allows them to make connections between seemingly unrelated things. Albert Einstein himself once said, if a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, then what are we to think of an empty desk?
Ooh, me oh my. that is you know, I live by
You're not
that.
even speaking in sentences.
I have a cluttered desk. I'll admit to that. But it's organized chaos. I know where everything is.
You're just reading the article now.
Where is this from?
Number 8, you're a worrier. Worrier, not warrior.
W-A? Oh, okay.
Worry.
Oh. No.
I was just saying, try it.
Yeah.
Just try. I have never met a more content person in my life than Ryan Wiggins, ever in my life. Can you agree?
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
A bit envious.
100%. Yeah.
I am a perpetual worrier, and I consider it a strength now that I know how to use it to my advantage, which is to always be prepared for everything. But I am prepared for a lot of things that never happen, which is not great. Number 9, you love challenges.
As long as they happen between 10 and 2.
Did they misspell fudge round?
I've always been the type of person who thrives on challenges, whether it's a complex puzzle, a difficult book, or a new skill. I love the process of struggling, learning, and eventually mastering something new.
I think the key there is the word mastering. When you've already mastered it, you don't have to struggle toward perfection.
If this sounds like you, congratulations, you might be a genius. Geniuses aren't afraid of challenges. Instead, they see them as exciting opportunities to learn and grow.
Oh, interesting.
Number 10, you're a bit forgetful. Are you running out of responses here?
No,
You're running out of
I want to hear from the room.
I'm the type who can forget what I had for breakfast while I'm still eating it. But while this forgetfulness might seem like a nuisance, it could actually be a sign of genius. 11, you're a procrastinator.
Yeah.
I don't know. All of these things are yes and no.
Number
Are you
12.
Procrastinating answering that
Yes,
question?
he is.
No, I'm thinking about it though.
Last one. You see patterns everywhere. I've always noticed patterns in nature and art and conversations. While some might see this as overthinking, it's actually a sign of a genius mind. Any geniuses in the room?
I used to. I think that as I've gotten older, I don't notice the patterns on the bathroom floor anymore. Maybe because I'm spending less time in there because my diet's better.
Incredibly.
Spending all his time looking for his Apple Watch.
He didn't even have an Apple Watch.
I'm going to start looking at every toilet now.
He's just looking for an Apple
Yeah.
Watch.
Hey, there's some porta potties. I'll be right back.
He's gonna come in.
We'll see
He's
what's
gonna
in
come
there.
in one time just covered in head to toe.
Oh my
And
gosh.
he's like, guys, you'll never guess what I found.
I found this old cowboy bottle.
The YouTube live chat poll for today: which issue will cause the most voters to cross the aisle in November 2024? Open borders, inflation, weaponized justice system, or government overreach? With 199 votes, we need one more before I end it. 5% said government overreach, 6% said weaponized justice systems, 36% said open borders, and 54%, an actual majority, said inflation. I think that reflects a lot of what we said earlier.
That was genius level polling right there. I would say that you have chosen wisely, and my opinion goes a long way.
With me?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to St. Louis, Annie.
I can't. How are we going to do a Friday show after this? We used all our good stuff on Thursday. Oh, no.
Too bad about the writer's strike, because we don't have any good writers right now.
I know. I got insulted. Like, you can tell the writers are striking from the Annie Frey Show. I'm like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you cannot. Thanks for being here. Check out the podcast wherever you get podcasts from on the Annie Frey Show. Mark Reardon up next.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon getting ready for the show here after Fox News, and I have a Hall of Fame level example this afternoon of media malpractice with a reporter from the Washington Post. It's coming up.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Frey, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. Tuesday, October 3rd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you'll be able to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Do you worry about losing your nest egg in the next big market correction? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses and provide more income than most investment options? Would you like to know why linking to the market is so much safer than owning the market? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this last event of the year.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, October 3rd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is where you go to shop for flooring with your neighbors, with the people who live and work with you. It's a locally owned and operated family business. And Michael's Flooring Outlet has been serving people exactly like you for decades and decades and decades in St. Louis. When you are shopping for carpet and you want to know, here's my budget is X, I don't want to go over that, you go into Michael's Flooring Outlet and you're looking for carpet, then they're going to show you the top quality brands like the Mohawk Silk brand. They're going to show you different kinds of padding that you can choose from. And all of this is going to materialize into making sure that you can fit inside your budget, but you also get the quality that you like and want and deserve. Michael's Flooring Outlet is there online at igotfloored.com, and you can find them easily by visiting their website, request an estimate from there, and get connected to one of the different locations that they have across St. Louis. You can find them in St. Charles County. You can find them in West County. You can also find them in Darden Prairie. You can find them online at igotfloored.com.
Start your Amazon business.
Hey everyone, Ryan and Karen Pottinger here.
Because of the wholesale